Mike, turn your games down.
Hi everybody, welcome to episode 389 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's having a crisis and then identity crisis with me tonight?
First identity crisis. I am Joe Butler, and me going gaga.
Hello to you too, Soldier Second Class Kyle from the RPG show, on the job.
It's Nate, and that guy just ate my hair.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Barry from Nintendo Fuse and PM Studios, and don't we all like big, giant, oversized swords?
And we
I
cannot
thought you were going
lie.
to say big giant and gagas.
That would've been
I
funny,
could have
too.
done that. But...
Not me. I'm a katana man.
So we are here to talk about Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. I'm assuming we all played the newer version.
Yeah.
No,
Should
Oh,
have.
I
Not
didn't
that-
play. I didn't play this at all, but I'll explain why.
oh. Oh, good.
That's fair. Huh.
I'm assuming you played it before, though.
I'll explain after a while.
Oh, this is going to be an interesting conversation here.
Mhm.
So the original version came out in 2007 for PSP. The remake came out in 2022. Original developed by Square Enix. Remake is Tosei. Published by Square Enix. Yeah. I mean, this game does look fucking pretty. That's for sure. So we always like to start with memories. I played the PSP version, God, years ago. I remember nothing about it, apparently, though, because this felt like a brand new experience, because I remember nothing. That's my history. Joe, what about you?
So I have a video game sin to tell y'all. This is my first iteration of the Final Fantasy VII franchise.
Fair.
I bought this because I growing up, I was only able to afford like handheld consoles, so I only had like a Game Boy and a PSP growing up. So if I had to buy games, I had to pick my choices. So of course, everyone loves Final Fantasy VII. New Final Fantasy VII game drops. I think there was like a poster for it in like my copy of Naruto. So I bought it. And of course, being a kid who can only afford so many games growing up, you play the same game like 7 fucking times until you know it at the back of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't play it this time because I know this game like the back of my hand. So
All right.
And you're wrong, not everybody.
I was. Kyle, what's your history?
Yeah, so I believe I got this on the PSP right around the same time when War of the Lions came out, because it was just one of those things. I didn't even own a PSP. I had a roommate who had one. I'm like, dude, here's just 2 games. Like, let me play it every so often, bet. And like, that's kind of how it worked. So I played it a couple of times, but I really didn't get that deep into it. Wasn't my jam at the time. The action RPG was kind of cool, but there was way better stuff out there, so it just kind of went to the backside. And then I was actually going to do it for my show a couple of years ago, and then I unfortunately wasn't able to make that episode, so I had notes and other things on it. I'm like, hey, I've done this before. Booted up my old save. I was right at the end of the game, like a little bit before Minerva questing and getting ready for that, so I did like half-assedly kind of that, and then I just looked up the best strategy and just rushed through it towards the end, so... Not a whole lot, but I'm a huge Final Fantasy VII fan. I've even got my Final Fantasy VII Materia Table shirt on. Yeah, that's right. Get one of these. It's fantastic. And I just, let's talk about Final Fantasy whenever we can.
Nate.
I never played this because I did not own a PSP when this came out. I was a late adopter and could never find a copy of it. So I was very glad when they said, we remastered this. Unfortunately, by the time they said they remastered it, I had watched like a story summary of it. But yeah, Reunion was my first time through the game, and I loved it.
And Barry.
So when this came out, I got it, but I begrudgingly got it because this was the time period where Square was pretty much in trouble. Like, they didn't know what to do. They were really confusing everybody, even with Final Fantasy. This was what the whole different Final Fantasy 13 games were coming out, and Versus or Type 0, or, you know, they've main 13 is like, what's going on? Fabula Nova, what are you talking about? So then all of a sudden, here's all these Final Fantasy 7 projects. And as someone who felt Final Fantasy 7 is very mid for Final Fantasy games, I was like, really? More? You're milking. You clearly are hurting. Let's milk, which is something Square likes to do. When they start hurting, they just milk Final Fantasy 7. They're not like they're doing that right now or anything. So this came out and it was like, you know what? This looks good. I always felt Zack was a better character in the short amount of time you see him in Final Fantasy 7 than Cloud ever was. So I was like, cool, I'll play this game. And I really loved it. I played through and I had a great time originally on the PSP. And I'm like, this is better than the mainline Final Fantasy VII. Like, this could just replace Final Fantasy VII in the main timeline. I would be perfectly fine with it. And it was the best of that compilation because it was better than, Advent Children and definitely better than Dirge of Cerberus. And it's like, to me, like, all right, before Crisis, we never got over here. That was like a mobile game, or at least we didn't at the time. I don't know if fans translated it.
Technically here. I mean, there's Ever Crisis, but you still can't actually play
the original before Crisis.
I tried.
So like, it was like, oh, cool, this is like good. Like, and it was I had handhelds, of course. I had the DS at the time as well, and the main games I played in the PSP. And the reason I bought the PSP was this game, Final Fantasy 1 and 2's remake. So I was like, with my Final Fantasy machine, why not play a new Final Fantasy? But yeah, and then of course the remake came out and the remaster, and I replayed that because when I think Rebirth was coming out, I'm like, fine, I'll play Remake and Rebirth now that it's been like 4 years, but I'll replay Crisis Core before that to refamiliarize myself. And I liked it better than Remake, and it still holds up. It's not Final Fantasy Uncharted. It does its own thing. I mean, the casino thing is kind of weird with the slots, but I still enjoyed it. It was a good story.
It works. I mean, also the story definitely works having a prequel story, which is teased in the regular FF7, but you actually get it here.
So this is our second of 3 iterations of Zack Fair's story, because we technically get a animated short called For Crisis in like 2006.
Yes.
That's like half of this, and then they made this, and then we technically get like a third retelling during the remake
and Rebirth.
Yeah.
Isn't this part of the remake series, essentially?
So technically, yes.
Yeah, it ties in.
I'll save some of it for the ending of the episode because it's really, really, really funny. But yeah, this was part of Final Fantasy VII's technically second recoming, because you had this, you had Advent Children, you had Dirge of Cerberus, you had the mobile game that was about the Turks.
So I've got the timeline just in case. It's Before Crisis, Advent Children, Dirge of Cerberus, Crisis Core. And then you start to get the books, but those are all after Crisis Core.
But that was all marketed as like compilation of Final Fantasy VII. Like that was the marketing they were doing.
Yeah, because Tetsuya Nomura loves to have his infinitely telling universe. I'm allowed to complain. There's 13 hours worth of Kingdom Hearts podcasts available through the show.
Oh man, just a quick aside, I saw, because KH4 recently news came out, great, everybody knows about it. Somebody put an episode together like 10 hours later. It's like, here's a 14-hour episode of what you need to know about Kingdom Hearts before you get into 4. I'm like, you know what, that tracks.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah.
You need to know a lot about Kingdom Hearts to actually understand what the fuck is probably going to be happening in 4.
But when you put Crisis Core, Before Crisis, and Dirge Cerberus all in, like, this is getting close to where they're going with that one.
You don't even need. I mean, I played Dirge twice. That's enough. You don't need it.
They actually incorporated Dirge stuff into Remake too, or and integrated, which was like
all of it's a thing now.
It's all a thing now.
They were all universes. We have multi-universes.
DLC in the last game that comes out. Revelation.
With the hype of the remake also as well, they did say they might remake Dirge of Cerberus as well, which is bad news.
I can't see why you would do that. That's like such a weak. You couldn't sell like 3 million copies of that, I think, honestly.
No,
but what if they make it good this time?
You know what, they could just port it. I would be happy with just a port so that it's not stuck on the PS2. They don't need to remake it.
What if they give it actual third-person shooter controls?
Yeah, what if they made the game
it would fix the controls.
I would
hope they would fix the controls.
What if
let's just remake all the bad games and make them good. That's what they should do, actually.
It is, yes.
What if they was remade by Platinum? Also, I feel bad now because I feel like this is at least worth some kind of money.
Yeah.
Platinum's busy with Turtles right now. Let's leave them be.
Oh yeah, let Platinum finish the Turtles game and then they can go to Dirge.
I don't think anyone's asking for a Dirge.
No, I'm pretty sure that's on every bucket list over there. I just really want to go and make Dirge. Come on, guys.
I mean, this game, so this is an action RPG, so they went away from what 7 was and other Final Fantasies are mostly. I ended up missing turn battle a lot in this game. I was like, tired of hitting the button. I just want to, pick fight. Just getting tired of it.
Out of all of our openings, I'm surprised no one picked entering combat mode.
Should have.
It's weird. I didn't hear that when I was playing this game.
Entering combat mode.
I don't think I ever heard it. Because there
Did
was
you
only
turn it
sound when there
off?
were cutscenes.
Oh yeah, right.
Headphones went out when I wasn't in cutscene. Cutscenes I listened to. I wanted to hear that, and I would hear talking, but when I was just grinding battles and things, headphones were not in after a bit. So I probably heard a little bit, but man, does this game get sound wears on you.
There's like such a weird loop in this gameplay where like I either love this sort of thing or I just can't get it on board with it by the end. And I think unfortunately this one gets a little closer. Like I sometimes love randomly generated kind of dungeon setups and you just kind of go to the same mission, but it's a little different here and there. But for some reason this one just kind of gets really long in the tooth after like the 10th hour. Whereas one that I always really liked as a kid was Evolution for the Dreamcast. And like that one I could play 1,000 times in a row and not get bored, but this one it just like doesn't hit the same way. And I feel like they're kind of similar.
Well, one thing I appreciate because it's a PSP game is that the maps are really small because the PSP can only handle so much. So going through everything, it's like a truncated version of the world, which is kind of nice when you just want to see the story and just enjoy. And if you want to keep going back into levels, they don't take forever. Like the missions don't take forever, thankfully.
You know why that is, right?
Because it's portable and PSP.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this every time we do a PSP game, Mike. The PSP was meant for you to take on your train and play it on the bus and mobily, so you could have short bursts through, I don't know, fucking PSP marketing, handheld marketing.
Well, you know what?
Take me on.
There's a one benefit, really. I know some people don't like portable gaming, other people love it. I think the biggest benefit to portable gaming that exists, and this game is one of those cases, and definitely like games now like on the Switch where you have the game portably, you need to be able to save so you can quickly turn it off because like your bus stop comes or your train stop comes. And so many games now have just the ability to save anywhere as opposed to having to run to a save point again. And I love that. Like that should be in every game.
I know it's a weird tangent, but general question, was the PSP the first handheld that you were able to put your game into like standby mode where you just click the button and it just, you know what I mean?
I think the DS could do it when you closed it, right?
Well, yeah,
when you closed the DS.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, you could technically when you close the DS, yeah.
I think the Game Boy Color had like a sleep mode.
I don't think it did.
In some games?
I think maybe Game Boy Advance might have.
Maybe Game Boy Advance, but I distinctly remember playing like one of the Oracle games.
Technically,
and like putting
Nintendo
it in
TS. Select games on the GBA like Metroid Fusion or Super Mario Advance 4 featured an in-game sleep option.
Okay.
Also, yeah, in games, yeah. It was a game by game as opposed to a system wide.
First handheld with a true system wide was the DS.
Okay. Yeah, there's nothing like trying to hide your Game Boy at 2 a.m. and then losing an hour of save through Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I think as we get older and stuff, I really feel I miss the clamshells of like the GBA SP, the DS, and the 3DS because putting a Switch or a Steam Deck in your pocket just doesn't work the same as throwing a 3DS in there quickly and clamshell snapping it closed.
Unless you're wearing Jinko jeans.
Are you two still wearing Jinko jeans to fit your Switch in your pocket?
And if monstrous. You are, please stop. Yeah. I don't have it up here, but they make clamshell like the Thor Riken or whatever it's called.
That's true.
The clamshell, yeah. I heard that thing can run like half of the Steam catalog or Steam game stuff. Yeah.
So there's some really good handheld systems, and since the Steam Deck decided to, go up in price, they're probably better deals now.
No, they're all going up in price.
Oh yeah, fair. Fucking hate the world we live in sometimes.
Yeah, but Crisis Core anyway.
Yes, impressive.
The story of that dude who that other dude is pretending to be, and we only got like
so weird
clones, right? So many.
Stupider than that.
I don't think it was clones. I thought it was they were just transformed into them. Like they still had their memories.
It's both.
They call them clones, I think.
Yeah.
They do call them clones.
Yeah.
This game is so weird though. Like,
yeah.
I mean, one, because I'm assuming since it has the R in it, that's why I really assume that this is more connected to remake and forget the second one.
So a lot of people though, Mike, have you played the remake?
No. I just picked it up actually a couple days ago, or today. I bought it recently.
Good for
you, so I won't completely spoil it. So things happen in the remake that don't make sense, and basically, I
played Final Fantasy VII before.
No, the remake.
I know. I'm just saying, in general, the game don't make sense.
Yeah, it. Congratulations, they pulled an Evangelion, or what's a more recent one and well known, Scott Pilgrim. They pulled a Scott Pilgrim, where they are changing things in the remake. So they re-released this. and everyone's like, "Oh, but you can't know Zack's story. It's already too early." And Tetsuya Nomura basically came out and was like, "Hey, this is called Reunion. Even though everyone had a bet going that the third port of the series is going to be Reunion. Congratulations, Revelations, for like the 5th time, which is important because things in this game are boy important. What is it? So they released this as a proper remaster. There's also another reason for that I'll explain in a second if anyone doesn't know. And so, but everyone's like, hey, but Zack's story is still kind of a spoiler. And Tetsuya Nomura actually dropped the ball finally and was like, hey, the remake isn't exactly a remake. Go play this or you're not going to understand. We're not putting it in the remake. You should already know the story.
Oh, so
Yeah, it's
this
still the prequel.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay
It's
with
just
that.
a little more convoluted. Like what I love what they did with the remake, and especially the way the first one ended, and then the second one kind of to me dropped the ball with the story and what they could have done with the multiverse kind of deal and everything.
For Rebirth.
Yeah.
Okay,
I really need
sorry.
to play that.
We all have to have the same terminology. I apologize. It's tough now. But they didn't really change any of the story. And I've never played the original of this, but the PSP story doesn't differ from the new version, right?
Yeah, the story is the same. I believe.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I played it, but it's been so long, I can't remember. I don't remember
Okay,
shit.
so, but you know this story, right?
Yeah, I played through Reunion. And I
Okay,
was paying
so
attention.
let's pretend at the end of this story, that part with Zack doesn't happen. And that's kind of what's going on in the remakes.
What do you mean? What part where he's
The final scene.
The final
where he
scene.
dies?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, if you
big-
want to spoil it for everybody, fantastic.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, big,
I'm not
Try to
too
save
concerned.
it, listeners. I apologize.
yeah, big.
We tried to
Big-
save it. Mike ruined it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, like Zack doesn't die, kind of, in parts of it. Weirdly, so like, yeah, it's a whole multiverse thing now. Nobody knows what's really happening anymore.
Nor does Tetsuya Nomura. That's the issue.
Yes,
No,
but we might
see,
find out in Kingdom Hearts 4.
We are gonna-
between or whatever it's gonna be.
we are gonna figure out Kingdom Hearts 4 because Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth does confirm multiverse theory, so we might get Kingdom Hearts in our Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah. Well, The World Ends With Us is part of Kingdom Hearts as well, isn't it?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Is it?
To a degree.
technically, yeah.
It connects.
Go
yeah.
listen to our 13-hour podcast
Yep.
where I explain.
Sorry,
how
we
all
need to
this
stop
The
talking
World Ends With
Kingdom
You
Hearts.
also,
It's too much. Yeah.
We're doing Neo actually here in a couple weeks, so
works. Yeah, Neo.
that's a different
But,
conversation. Okay, I was just curious. Like, I was surprised how much of the story I remembered nothing about.
So
The middle
Oh,
part.
shit.
Yeah.
it's the middle part, yeah.
And
Sec-
Loveless, probably.
Loveless. Is
Loveless.
important.
It's very important, but it's also weirdly forgettable because there's a lot who's
It's just a
blood.
poem or book or something, right?
It's
That's
a book.
both true. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
but
a play, also.
All right.
It's boy important. But speaking of the boy important, does anyone know who Japanese star Gact is?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
'Cause
we all
he's
know
the reason this didn't come out for a
Yeah, this
long
is-
time.
he's the reason why we didn't get a port of this for like 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah, that part sucks. Is he still Genesis in the remake?
Yes, in fact, you see him in a cutscene in the remake.
Oh, then how'd they get? Oh, okay. I wonder they must have
don't-
picked him again.
Hero's
guess.
also in the remake now, right? He's originally from this.
Cisne is also in the remake.
Yeah. Whose name we don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Dang
she
it.
still goes by Cisne though.
I know. It's the
I love
biggest
that they
mystery
put
in
her
Final
there,
Fantasy.
though. Like adding her into the was it Ganganga? I think they put her in.
Yeah.
I
That
think they
just
put her in
makes so much.
Gongaga. Yeah.
I loved that. I was like, oh, good. There's more of a connection.
Yeah. She's a fantastic character, honestly.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but that's okay.
Cisne from this game.
Yeah.
You know, the
Oh,
Or
Turk.
the Turks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to pronounce
she-
her name, and that's
She
not
wasn't in the original Final Fantasy VII,
okay. I knew
She is,
that.
she is in the remakes. Yeah.
but she's in the
Oh.
remakes.
So
That's fine.
everyone's coming together in the remakes.
That makes sense.
Her
It's
real
Spider-Man.
name is her real name is Axel, and she's in Kingdom Hearts 2.
No, it's Lei,
did
and she's
kind of-
also in
Lei.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yes. Good, thank you. Yes.
You make a joke, but we're getting there at one point.
Yep, it's real. That was not actually a joke. That was a real
Hmm.
thing.
I mean, the combat in this game is pretty simple for the most part. It's just an action RPG. I mean, you do have a slot system that we mentioned a little bit. You do have like materia you can equip that gives you different abilities. You have spells you can do. I, being me, just kind of went with the same things the entire game because it's
Well,
me.
you can.
What works, don't fix it.
Yeah.
What was that? I want to know.
Assault Twister plus or something like that after a while. Attack plus, HP plus, and then the gears kept getting upgraded. because I have to be able to cure myself because I don't like to use items in games. I mean, I did, but if I can use a spell, I'd rather use a spell.
Yeah, I'm the same.
But
Yeah,
no,
towards the end, I went for more of the costly punch build, and then once I got closer to Minerva, you can really wreck the game by like just boosting your stats and getting 225 like vitality, and you can't even get hit.
I feel like you kind of need that because
it makes it stupid easy. And I don't know, like otherwise you use Wall. Wall's a pretty good one too. The game's got interesting concepts, but I feel like it's either you can either outgrind the game and it makes it kind of not fun, or you have like this weird middle ground and you can't really do like the end game stuff truly.
Well, I mean, there's just so many side missions that you unlock by talking to NPCs, and my God, I mean, I did 30 or 40%, and I was just like, I'm done with this shit after a while. I was trying, wasn't going for 100%. Nate, how did it feel going for the platinum in this?
So I got the platinum in 2023, and it was very. I mean, it was fine, but the worst is definitely the missions. Just loading in, loading out, and then making sure that you talk with every NPC to get missions, because like you can get locked out of missions if you just don't talk to someone.
Yes.
And then if you progress too far in the story, the game is like you can't do any missions.
There goes the platinum trophy.
Tip for the platinum trophy people: save individual files at the start of each chapter. I missed out doing that. I missed a single enemy in the first mission where you have to find like 10 or 13 of them. Yeah.
Who doesn't rotate save in this day and age?
Me.
I do sometimes, but not like crazy.
Yeah, it's pick and choose.
I play a lot of horror games, so it's kind of
fair.
Yeah.
I do like 1 to 3 depending on the game. But yeah, definitely have a chapter clear after you beat each chapter on a separate save. Makes going for the trophies so much easier.
I can't imagine doing
one
that.
was cutting down the missiles in chapter 1 or 2.
That was the one I missed. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was tough. I can't tell you how many times I got to the last one and then the camera angle switch and the timing I was like,
That's just
it's not too bad.
The missions got too long for me, and I got worn out with them because there's just so many, and they're so much of the same thing over and over again.
Spoiler on that: if you stick to the corners, you can avoid encounters.
Oh, did not know that.
Yep, you can run around literally every encounter in the game except the bosses.
Yeah, because they're like predetermined in squares. It's just like Parasite Eve. There's certain games like Square did that, where it's just like instead of making them random, we're just going to make a particular area, and you walk into it, you are getting into a battle, which is great if you don't have the resources to get through it, but it sucks at the same time if you can't avoid it and you don't have the resources because there's no luck. You're getting into a battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times you can just go in and grab the chests early and then like come back and fight the monsters down the road.
Just the amount of missions there were. I mean, yes, they're optional, so I can't bitch too much, but they got really exhausting after a while.
But you can do stuff with like summons and get more.
That was cool. Yes.
Get more pachinko machine slots.
There are 300 of them though, so you're not wrong. There's a lot.
Oh,
damn, that's more than I thought there were.
Yep, 300 exactly.
Fuck, that's a lot of missions.
Yep,
a lot of missions.
Yeah.
Again, the nature of portable gaming.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice for that.
It was back in the day when like people only owned 5 or 6 games, and you had to like get 200 hours out of these, where people would do challenge runs and shit like that. This kind of had it built in already. So yeah, at the time, I'll give it some credit for that, but it is a little long in the tooth these days.
Well, it wasn't even that people only had 5 or 6 games. It was that there were not nearly the amount of games coming out then than there are now. Because even if you have, let's say, $1 million a year, you want to buy every game, there's just not enough time to play them. You could say, I'm going to take like this week that we're recording and just play the games came out this week and nothing else. And by the time you finish them, you'll probably be into September or October at that point.
Yeah.
There are just too many games. But like for this, I didn't even, I don't know. I felt like I got enough out of this game. Like I wasn't upset with how much I played or didn't play. I was content.
You can pick and choose how much it is, and it works really well like that.
I mean, I did feel a little under-leveled at times, but not terribly. And I didn't mind it too much. I mean, just the combat got to me after a while. The story was, is the main selling point of this game, though. I mean, that's what we're all here for. That's why I remember being so excited when this came out, because I liked 7 a lot, and my girlfriend at the time loved 7. Still does. Not my girlfriend anymore, but still loves 7. I was just talking to her. I was talking to her about this. So, like, this game. So, I mean, that's why I was so interested in Crisis Core. But, man, no memory of anything. Like, Angio, I know he was a new character. Genesis was a new character. I remember, like, back when this came out, that was a big deal.
Yeah, I love Angel. But yeah, a lot of it has to do with Final Fantasy VII. As much as it is kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? It is a PlayStation game. A lot of times people just kind of want background, which is also what this is too. You kind of get a look at Shinra being the powerhouse that everyone fears in the game, and what is it? You meet because everyone talks about how great first class soldiers are, but you really only meet Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII. So
And Cloud, don't forget Cloud.
Cloud, who's
No.
not a real soldier first class.
Cloud's not.
I know.
Yeah, scrub.
It's called world building. I mean,
Yeah.
that's exactly what this is. This is world building, and it's it's kind of like seeing Star Wars episodes 4, 5, and 6, and then seeing the prequels. One of the biggest excitements for the prequels, especially I remember when Attack of the Clones trailer was shown, you see all those Jedi running, because they talk about how great the Jedi were and what they did, but we never really see it. We only saw Obi-Wan and Yoda, who were both old and didn't do much. Here we were seeing them in their height, and it was so exciting. And that's kind of what this is. It's like we hear that first class soldier is big and powerful, but by the time you join the story in the beginning of 7, Shinra is pretty much going down the tube, and the whole soldier program is falling apart. Here we kind of get to see what it was like prior to that and what first class soldier really means.
There's only one Keyblade Master ever.
Oh my god, here we go.
Oh, damn it.
Sorry, I take that out of the way. I'm sorry.
There was for one point.
That's fair. I mean, it's nice to see the earlier parts, and I know when this was originally made, the idea was like, hey, as long as you don't really retcon 7, you guys can do what you want. And like, I think they took that idea and they made a pretty good story of it that leads right up to the start of it. Like, it's kind of just, if you think about it weirdly, it's the story of the Buster Sword. And it's kind of nice seeing how that moves and flows between, like, even though it's a repetitive thing where it's like, hey, here's a new guy to take up the sword and like, let's go and bang it around and shit. But it's always like this struggle against something that's bigger than themselves. And I like how it just sort of passes that along more than like all these characters are super like, I know they're in depth and they make sense, but I think it's more just a general, like, here's a nice ancillary thing. And now they're making it this super serious connected idea. But before it was just like, this is more of a fun idea of how Cloud got there and got his sword. I think it worked better in that sense.
So,
But at the same time, it also makes Cloud even worse of a character, because not only did he steal Zack's identity and persona, but now he's also stealing Angeal's Buster Sword, has no idea the meaning behind it when Zack finally took it. So he's really like, he's literally a Cloud. There's nothing to him in terms of character. He's just not only Zack, but now he's Zack and Angel.
Yep.
Fair.
And the one I guess that I hear a lot of other people really hate about this too is that it kind of did destroy the Cloud Aerith ship as well.
Oh, that was BS anyways. Aerith was always Zack. Always Zack. I mean, even in the movie, like if you watch Advent Children and stuff, at the end of the movie, you see Zack and Aerith together. Like they were together. Tifa was always supposed to go to Cloud. I'm sorry. Don't make a triangle when there really doesn't need to be. Otherwise, Cloud canonically lands with Barrett, and that's the end of the story. They're on the Ferris wheel together, and that's it.
He should.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I don't know though. I will say in remake though, Cloud and Red 13 is that's a hot date.
That's true too. Yeah, I think people just wanted a love triangle for the sake of love triangles.
Bingo.
And like they
were big
Square did a lot with romance, and I think a lot of gamers prior to 7 didn't really pay much attention to it. And it was just because 7 got more mainstream that suddenly a new audience was taken in. Because if you look at like 6, you have Celis, who is pining for Locke the entire time because Locke saved her. But at the same time, Locke is literally doing nothing but trying to find Phoenix to save Rachel, who he loves and is stuck in a coma the entire time. And Celis never gets Locke the entire time. She's just depressed. She's always chasing the man that she wants and she can never get. So Square did this back in the Super Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you have Cecil and Rosa, of course, with Kane as a weird triangle.
It happened in a lot of games too, except for like Lufia. Except for like Lufia too. That was about the only.
I didn't get any of that reference.
Really
That's first.
yeah.
Wait, you didn't get any of that?
I didn't get any of that. That's a
You
first.
need to play Final Fantasy 6.
You never played 6?
Nope.
Oh
Right,
wow,
Yeah,
You,
it's a game
you,
that
stu-
people play.
you stumped the king of useless knowledge. Anyways,
you really need to play 6. It's
Yeah, and
amazing. 4 too. Oh, all of them. 5 is
5
great too.
and 10.
to
Yeah,
Yeah,
five's
to
good.
play 'em all.
4's good.
You can
to
skip
be
11.
fair, I heard 11's good. To be fair,
Hmm.
I also always kind of considered after because I played this first, like I said, I always kind of considered it weird for Zack to be with Aerith. It's like dating your older brother's girlfriend, kind of weird.
No, they had chemistry. They were together, and let me tell you, when you play remake, it's even more apparent with Zack
Yeah.
and Aerith.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but I mean, you could say that, but I've mentioned before the age gap's kind of weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
you don't see them
that's
sleep
that's
together. So.
that's
is-
Yuffie and whoever Yuffie's with, because she's only
Yeah.
like 15 in the game.
Yuffie is only, like,
Japanese
14.
people don't care. They start dating much earlier. That's a
Yeah.
thing with them.
But like
They
I said,
make it weird like us Americans do.
yeah, like I said too. Also, I believe in like the Final Fantasy VII universe, you can join Soldier at like 14. That's Cloud's backstory, right? Whenever Tifa goes into a coma, he joins Soldier at like 14, 13.
I don't remember.
He wants to, but I don't know exactly how the recruitment process works, and I'm not
I'm like
sure if that's been. Yeah, he gets
like
into it, but I'm not. I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a Shinra youth, and you go for a
Probably.
couple years, and
Like
then he
the
hits 17, and then
JROTC?
you can get to the SS or whatever it is. Or...
I was thinking the exact same thing. With you.
Thank you. Yeah.
The other thing too that this game also kind of explains a little bit better as well, because I kind of played 7 or looked up 7 after this. So a lot of things 7 isn't really explained very well. If this game does give a little bit back more to that story as well, such as what exactly they do to like I think second and up class soldiers, which is the Mako injection, which as you find out in this game this game also gives more of a better explanation exactly what that is, and that technically didn't happen to Cloud in the first place.
They didn't know what it was until this game came out. That's the real
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. So like that's more of it.
Yeah, they just kind of had ideas and went, okay, we'll just put it out there.
Yeah, it's like soldiers have Genova cells, I think, kind of. Cloud's here. There's a Zack guy. But it wasn't like, yeah, you get infected with the T cells, which are different than there's another type of cell. It's kind of like almost Resident Evil in that sense, right?
When you say T
Yeah,
cells, that's where my brain went.
Yeah,
Virus.
There's G cells and S cells in this.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of, you can see they took from other things, I think, more than this was the original plan in 97.
Yeah, that's true though. I believe that.
And they were just building up and this became stuff.
Yeah. And it works, and they're using it now. Like, it's really cool that they did. But it is that weird, like, middle child kind of thing. It's like, at the time, it was a little all over the place. But I'm glad that you found your way, and now it's coming back together.
Plus, like, I can't hear that Zack sound without crying every time. It's like a bell or something.
Are
Right.
you talking about the main song?
Yeah, the
Or,
main
like, the
song.
theme?
The theme where they have like 7 different versions of it, and I'm glad.
All
every time
in leaves? What's it called again?
every time I hear it, I cry every time.
Yeah, they didn't need to like emotionally devastate us while fleshing out the world of Final Fantasy VII.
I
Under the
disagree.
apple tree. That's the one.
It was something we all knew was going to happen because the ending was already written. Like we already knew how it was going to
Yeah.
end. But the thing is people, when 7 first came out, so many people fell in love with Cloud, and I still see to this day people say he's the best video game protagonist, and I'm just roll my eyes. But when you see the backstory now of Zack, who this character is, you realize those people just really like Zack because that's all Cloud wanted to be. And Zack as a character is a good character. And to see that, and that's so if a character is just introduced into the screen, like Batman v Superman, Jimmy Olsen is just killed right away in the beginning, and you don't even really know it's Jimmy Olsen. You don't care. But if you have all these movies or games or these story about a character and then they die, you have that emotional connection. And that's what this game did. It gave an emotional connection to Zack, which makes it so when you play 7, you realize, man, the best character in the game is barely in the game and he died before it even started.
Now they do pump him up a little bit, to be fair, because I very specifically after I play this too, I did, like I said, I tried to look up stuff about 7. In like the original 7, he only gets killed by like 3 Sinra soldiers. In
2 guys.
Crisis Core, there's like hundreds of them, and apparently he fights from sun up till sundown.
Which is
That's
cool.
also because the PlayStation can only show so many characters on screen at the same time.
Okay.
Make that argument all the time. That's fair. Can I take a weird look at that though? So like, I understand what you're saying. I do respect that, but I've kind of got a different view on it. So, like, I think you are right. A lot of people like Cloud. He was one of these characters, like, he's got this whole thing. He's kind of your Marvel guy where he's not perfect. He's got all these flaws, blah, blah, blah. But then you you give him that story and you see Zack, and then you remake the game and you say, hey, before this Cloud guy even existed, there was literally the same dude, but he was almost cooler.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of weird that they remade the character in the past, which then hurt the first version of the character. I don't think you see that a lot. I think you see that, like, in the future there's the same guy, but not, like, retconned to make the original guy worse. And that's a weird way that I see it.
That makes total sense. I mean, it's like these are personifications of Cloud that people did like, but they made it clear in 7 that they were stolen to begin with. They made it clear that these are not Cloud. This is Zack. All his memories were, it was really Zack. All his, his persona is, but he never was even a soldier. But the whole time he's like soldier first class, but he wasn't. Zack was the soldier. He took on that persona because of the Mako poisoning or whatever. And it's true that they kind of made Zack even better, like you said, Cloud, but cooler. And I remember there was a game from that era called Energits, and I hadn't played 7 at the time.
Yes.
But Energits came out, and I loved it, and I played it, and I called my friend who did play 7, and I was like, look, I haven't played 7. Who's Zack? Because there's Sephiroth in the game, and there's Cloud, and you can unlock Zack, who's literally just Cloud with Zack's head. It's the exact same model. But I had no idea. He's like, Zack? Who's Zack? I never heard of Zack. I'm like, well, he's from 7. He's like, I don't remember him. And then when I played it, I'm like, wow, he's barely in the game, but he's such an important character. What the heck? So when this came out, I was like, all right, it's like, this is good that people will finally know who this character is. And that's one of the things I didn't like about like the remake and Rebirth so much. Remake was good, and then Rebirth kind of shelved the Zack portion of it. And I was like, I wanted to see more of Zack, like the whole multiverse ideas. Like, we're going to get them all together, right? Zack's even on the cover art. Like, it shows 3 of them, and he's barely in the game.
Yeah, it's funny, too, because even, like, and when this game came out, they almost do the same thing with Zack and Angio. We're like, hey, here's this really cool guy. But then there's also this guy who came before him, and he's really cool, too.
So
They just keep doing that.
You always see that kind of happen the other way, where like the person down the road is, but never it's like, let's keep making the predecessors even better.
Well, bad news, if you play the new Final Fantasy VII mobile game, died! Play the new Final Fantasy VII mobile game, you do see Baby Angeal and Baby Sephiroth as well. So
You see
Oh, there's
baby
Ever
version?
Crisis?
yeah, there's like a whole prequel mobile game, and you even see like Sephiroth wielding a normal sized katana, and you see like a really young Angeal, and kind of talks how their friendship developed. But also, to be fair, I don't need 7 prequels to explain the series for the 8th time. Tetsu no Mora.
And
How much Lucretia is there? That's my question. 0? 3?
I don't know.
And that's my problem with 7 is they just keep milking it and they just keep throwing all these things, and it's not needed. None of the other Final Fantasy games are needed that. Not a single one. Sequels, fine, but we don't need 100 prequels and side games for every other character.
How many
Excuse
did
me, sir. Final Fantasy
work on?
X or Final Fantasy X-2 does exist.
That's a sequel. I said
Yes.
we don't need 100 sequels. One sequel. 13 has 2 sequels. 12 has a sequel. 5 has a movie or an OVA.
13 could have just had the cool. That would have been okay.
Actually,
probably.
I disagree with that because playing through them all, I think Lightning Returns ends in a perfect way, and like it bookends the whole thing. And 13 too is my favorite.
He loves 13, so
That's fair. I totally respect that.
Yeah, I love 13. I do like the ending to Lightning Returns, but before that is like a 60-hour game that
Also-
I just did not buy.
13-2 is so good and ends on one of the most biggest
13-2
few
is
moments
awesome.
in the world.
Yeah, if not for 13 to 13, the whole trilogy would be kind of meh. The
Also,
first
if
game
you-
was very meh.
If you want to get technical about it too as well, technically Final Fantasy 15 and was it Type 0 are
Yeah.
also supposed to be Final Fantasy 13 spin-offs as well. So
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
versus 13 and Type.
oh my god,
Yeah.
forget all
Type
that.
0 is a whole nother can of worms.
I
Never
just think
played
he
it.
wants. I just think he wants a multi. This dude wants to make a franchise. It's all it is. And sadly, Final Fantasy games are not franchise games. They're one and done games.
Correct. Well, the nice thing that they do with Final Fantasy games, and they mainly do this with games like Dissidia and Theater Rhythm, is the whole multiverse is a thing in Final Fantasy. Like, they are all actually universes adjacent to each other. And the new Final Fantasy that's from the mobile game coming out on consoles now also does that, where you can call in heroes from previous games and other games. And I like the fact of a Final Fantasy multiverse. I think that's good. Lean on it. Gilgamesh is a multiversal character that travels between all the different games, and I think that's really cool. But
here's my every Final Fantasy episode I'm on for Mike second, where I tell everybody that Final Fantasy 7 and 10 are universally connected because Shinra exists in Final Fantasy 10, and then that's the Shinra that made Shinra in Final Fantasy 7. They're on different planets. It's literally a thing. You can look it up.
Is Shinra in Final Fantasy
Yes.
10?
Yeah, it's in Rebirth. They have a joke frame in the Shinra Tower that is a Shinra picture from Final Fantasy X. It is literally there. It exists now. It is canon.
Well, 13 is kind of like the precursor to 7, which is another thing they did.
It's already been a thing. They've done it forever. But yeah, you can 100% find it.
Lightning is Cloud's mama.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I don't know what you're talking about. Is that
Don't worry about it.
okay?
Yeah.
I am curious though now.
You got to play through the 13 games, and you'll see. Yeah, but all 3 of them. You can't just stop at the first one.
Yeah, I mean, that goes into a fair point. I've always said Lightning is just Girl Cloud, so I mean, it makes sense.
But Lightning actually has a better story, like how she got the name Lightning and her relationship with Sarah, and going to the ends of time to become like a time god.
I can't argue.
They fleshed her out.
I can't argue with you. 13 is like my husband's favorite series, and he keeps trying to get me to watch him play all 3 games back to back. And I'm like, dude, I don't have time for this. I love you. I don't have time to watch you play 200 hours of Final Fantasy fucking 13.
Just wait. I'm sure there'll be an HD remake or a port or something. And
Do not put that juju on me.
I hope
Do not
so.
put that juju on me.
There's going to be a 13 trilogy. There has to be a port of that.
No,
trilogy.
they're gonna reintroduce Cloud. We're back to it as always. They're gonna reintroduce Cloud and Lightning into Kingdom Hearts 4, and then that's when they're gonna announce the Final Fantasy 13.
No, you know how they have those movie trailers where it's like, before this there was this. You're gonna see that. So before Cloud, there was his mama Lightning.
Just in case, Cloud is going to be in Resonance, the new 2D one.
Well, no, there a bunch of characters are. Zidane's there. Like,
They're
it's
all
like
in there.
the city. All the main characters.
We got him back.
You see that, Mike?
No, I mean I saw that they announced it, but you know me, I don't really pay attention to any of that stuff for a while.
It's a free mobile game. Or
That makes me care less about it.
It was a mobile game that is canceled and dead, and this is the first act of it or the first season of it all in story, but it's consoleized.
Yes, it's
and
the
considering
story, but not
it's
the
a story.
gameplay.
Yeah, there's no gotcha. It's just flat out Final Fantasy. Like, Octopath Traveler 0 was the Octopath mobile game, and they turned it into a 100+ hour single player RPG that's fantastic and has no gotcha, nothing. It's a full-fledged RPG. They're doing it again, and it's smart because mobile games die, and this gets them to new audiences and no microtransactions, just full-on
they
game.
might have something here.
The art style also looks incredible.
Yeah.
The Mega Man mobile game also has that too, where now it's a Steam console game.
Yeah, which sucks is it's only on Steam, X Drive offline. Like, put that to consoles. Mega Man was first on consoles. Put it on console.
Yeah, there's no reason for Mega Man to be on a phone only.
Look, it's on Steam. You could probably play on your laptop. It's fine. It's fine.
But it needs to be on consoles. That's a thing. It should not limit it to one thing like that. Especially if we want more Mega Man games. Larger audience, more sales.
Who doesn't want more Mega Man games though? So
he does. Dual Overdrive is coming.
So we're pretty much been hopping around, so I might as well have the big reveal now.
Yeah.
I know it's a weird, goofy question. Has anyone 100%ed Final Fantasy Dirge of Cerberus?
I don't hate myself that much.
No. I know the guys on every FNFF, but not me.
If you 100% Final Fantasy Dirge of Cerberus, the main villain is revealed to be the brother of Genesis, and Genesis comes back and flies away with his big one wing. And he also sounds like a vampire, I guess. Don't worry about it.
I do remember hearing that back in the day when I cared.
Yeah.
And he's never seen from again.
Yeah, but it's funny because when you Dirge of Cerberus came out beforehand, so when that happened, everyone was like, we fucking introducing vampires in the Final Fantasy VII? And then this came out, everyone went, oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Vampires already existed.
Yeah, Vincent
Yeah.
was already there.
Yeah.
He was the one vampire, though. Not there should have been only one, though. That's the joke. It's not fun if there's two.
I mean, I feel like my biggest complaint with not biggest, but one of the complaints I always had with Final Fantasy VII is it kind of moved fantasy into technology, into more modern stuff, motorcycles and cars and skyscrapers and electricity and all that stuff. And Crisis Core obviously set in that world does it too. And it's just so weird to see all these genetics and all the modifications. And while there was some of that in like 6 in the steampunk world as like a precursor, I feel like Crisis Core even doubles and triples down on the technology side of Final Fantasy World, because now you go around Shinra's Tower and Hojo, of course, and like all the different stuff there. It's just farther and farther from a Final Fantasy aspect, or at least the fantasy aspect of it. And they doubled down in this series, and even in 8, which is why they reverted. They realized that was a mistake.
That was one of my problems back with 7 back in the day, was I didn't like it that it went so much away from the fantasy aspect. I did love 7, I love 8, but I remember thinking that as a kid.
8 went even harder on it.
I know.
It was the other way for me.
Going off of that, you can say that, but Final Fantasy VII, there are parts where like Sephiroth's psychic and there's ghosts and stuff like that. So there are fictional stuff, but I also like eco-terrorism.
Oh, there's definitely ghosts, especially in the remake. There are way too many ghosts that are still not truly explained.
Well, in the first one, you need them to steal webs in the train graveyard to make the game easier.
But there were ghosts before that too. I mean, Phantom Train and 6.
Yeah.
I always kind of like the futuristic turn. Like, don't get me wrong, I like fantasy games, but I was kind of at that point in time getting a little more, I don't want to say cyberpunk because that's not really it, but like whatever this kind of thing is, futuristic eco-punk, I guess, whatever. Like that did work for me, and I've always kind of enjoyed that a little bit more in the future. I think when you have to go like full fantasy, you need to kind of go the whole way. You can't really, I don't know.
But look at the bad decisions it led to. Not only FF8, but the Spirits Within. Like it took them in the such a weird direction that they had the big course correct, which was 9, which is the polar opposite of everything else.
And I can't say that was a really good one either.
Oh, 9 was fantastic.
I love 9 too.
No.
9 was incredible. The best of the
9...
PlayStation FFs.
Oh, that's bad.
I need to replay it.
You waste 2/3 of the game wearing equipment that doesn't matter.
No, what you do is you put on the equipment to learn the materia and you just grind outside.
Yes, right away. And then you waste 30% of the game with the equipment that you could have like just not wasted the time and upgraded. The system of getting your skills, I think, is kind of...
I like that. I
think it's the least skilled of all the games, personally.
It's like Tales of Graces does that too, and I liked it.
So I was also wondering, did the original Crisis Core have all these mini games that this game has too, like the squatting and all the sneaking around you do at one point?
Oh, that's there, absolutely.
Okay, I had no memory of that, so I was curious.
And I feel like a lot of those mini games were a product of it being portable. But again, another thing they doubled down on in Remake and Rebirth to the point that they got criticism.
I heard Rebirth is awful for like the amount of mini games. Because someone recorded a 4-hour podcast about it, right, Kyle?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't even. We could have went a lot longer on that. There's a lot, and the problem is that to get all the rewards and to get all the trophies, you have to do like 8 levels of each, and 4 of them are normal, and then you have 4 hard levels on each one, and some of the hard levels are like, this is really stupid, and there's only about 2 ways this can actually be beaten. So if you're playing when the games come out, you kind of just have to like hope that somebody gets the right way, or you have to like weirdly... It just takes way too long. That's it. You could get all the side quests done in 2 rounds, and the game would take 40 hours less, and it would be fantastic.
I'm so sick of having like 100-hour RPGs. I had a firm stopping point in 7 Rebirth where I was like, I'm fucking done. I can't keep playing this card game. I can't keep having fucking Red 13 fetch a bone. Was
it Gungaga?
I can't it was
Gungaga.
No, I think it was after Gungaga. it was ironically it was the beach. Like when we got to the beach, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Costa del Sol.
Yeah, when I got to Costa del Sol, I'm like, I don't want to do this shit anymore. Something else was coming out, and I'm like, I'm done. Please just get me out of here.
When they introduced the Johnny Hotel, I was like, oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
The The
then
problem
I got
is
the
that all the
Gungaga, and I
rewards
went,
are
"I'm
locked
done."
behind it. All the good rewards are locked behind the side quests and the hardest difficulties, so you kind of have to do them to really get the game to be fully fleshed out, which is not how any JRPG should work. All the best stuff in the game should be for extra hard side quests, extra hard bosses, or like
Yeah, not mini games.
like entire story long side quests where you have to trade like 8 things to get the best item. That's cool. But don't tell me I have to just go and like do 25 squats in a minute and a half to get a materia that I really need.
See, and then with the worst part is it's the best of both worlds too, because you have all those goddamn mini games, and I'm like, I don't want to do this shit anymore. But then you introduce like, hey, Barrett's gonna have a fucking gunfight with Dine, and I'm like hype as shit. And then they give him like a new form during that fight, and it's like this is the best thing ever. And it's like I wish there needs to be more of this and less of me.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
But then they send you to the jungle, and you want to kill yourself trying 100% that map.
Yeah, the mushrooms on that almost made me throw a controller against the wall. It doesn't even explain what you have to really do. Like that's the worst part.
You know that.
Yeah, that and then the music. Like I like
The music. I loved it.
Oh no,
But
Yuffie's remake in that, like her song, fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, we're talking.
I love the Forest music for the first 20 minutes.
When they split, like when he's in the cell, they're in there for like what 4 years then? Zack and Cloud.
Yeah, they're getting worked
4
on for 4
years.
years under the Nibelheim mansion.
Okay.
He misses
Not really
hundreds
that
of
long.
letters. Yeah, misses hundreds of letters from Aerith, and that's why she's so sad about the whole deal.
I do think I took some notes, like I always do. Killing Hojo would solve so many problems in this universe.
Yes.
Like if
Yeah.
they had never sent Zack to protect him.
Yeah, Hojo is the reason why this whole series is fucking cursed. Not like
Pretty much.
bad, but just like why all the bad shit happened in the series.
Yeah. And then I love every time Genesis talks about Loveless to Zack, and Zack is just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
He's just like, shut up.
Cloud, did you know Angeal loved dumb apples? Well, you fuck off for the 8th time today.
Yeah. Like, especially at the end when Genesis is like, have you ever heard about the last act of Loveless? And he's like, of course not.
He's like your friend who keeps telling you that Vigo kicked the helmet and broke his toe. It's like, I get it, right?
That's a good one.
I'm kind of surprised Square didn't try to put on an actual Broadway play for Loveless. It's cross promotion.
I think there is actually.
Is there? Okay.
I think
like
the live action version of Loveless.
Yeah, Suikoden
it's a
has
movie.
a live action now, so I would hope that Loveless has at this point.
I'm talking like an actual like on Broadway type thing.
Yeah.
Though.
Okay. Yeah, got
You know
it,
why?
got it.
Because it's not fucking real. It's just a bunch of tangents off a fucking page.
And also, the last sentence is written by the ghost spirit of the wind and your friends.
But
think.
what if we gaslit the world into thinking there was a Loveless play by dressing up as Genesis and just talking about it constantly?
You'd probably get sent to an insane asylum.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna end up getting like I say, but Rebirth also has like a whole. Is it the whole Loveless or is it just a section of Loveless that you play?
It's a section where you play it.
Okay, that's also bullshit. But we're gonna end up finding out that Loveless is just the retelling of Final Fantasy VII, and then I'm gonna throw my PC out the window.
Isn't that the thing about it though? Is it's mirroring the events of 7?
I don't.
No, that would
fucking know.
be Xenogears. Wrong game.
This conversation is going places.
Look,
I mean,
that's-
they also have the holodeck in this game too. Was like that one part when Angeal, Genesis, and Sephiroth are like in the holodeck on top of the cannon. I'm like, oh, they destroyed the cannon. And then turns out it's just a holodeck. I was like, oh,
Oh, you mean the best scene of the game that everyone like looks up?
yes,
I love that scene of the game.
that was a good scene.
And then also, I think causes Genesis's like fucking mental issues as well.
He wasn't too happy, no.
Yeah, isn't he just annoyed at Sephiroth?
Sephiroth. Yes.
Because like in that exact scene, he's like, I think the world is ready for a new hero.
Well, they're technically all brothers.
Yeah.
Are they all clones of each other?
No, sort of.
So it's not a huge spoiler. It's in the game. Sephiroth is, I believe, one of Genova's eggs put into. Did Hojo impregnate? Okay.
Lucretia. Yeah.
I believe they also put an egg inside Angeal's mom.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. These three are the Genova eggs. They're not the best ones. They're the second generation of the experiments, I believe.
Yeah.
Because what's the scientist in this one? I'm blanking on his name. It's like Hollander, right?
Hollander, yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy who, and then Hojo kind of took his shit over afterwards and made these three.
Because the Sephiroth in this game is not the same Sephiroth that we see in 7, correct?
That's yes and no. Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the original Sephiroth up through the Cloud part, which is towards the end of the game.
Are any of us really the same person we were 10 years ago and finding out our
yeah.
mom's an alien?
I mean, we didn't find out our mom's
Yeah,
an
this is
alien.
the original not cloned Sephiroth who eventually ties in with the life stream, goes to the crystal, and then can make the other Genova cell people start to look like the black robed dudes.
Okay.
So the Sephiroth in this game is the same one that's in the crystal in 7. Those are both the true Sephiroth. Let's go with that.
Yeah, he's also in the crystal because Cloud technically kills him, right?
Yes, and then the life stream puts him in the crystal because he falls into the Mako reactor, and then Genova brings him into the crystal.
I guess, technically in this game, you do see him get killed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cloud technically kills him, and then he is reborn through the life stream, and then he truly gets reborn at the end of 7 Disc 2 by the crystal in the crystal room.
And do they have Sephiroth cells and they inject both Cloud and Zack with Sephiroth cells? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they do downstairs, because they're like, shit, we killed Angeal and fucking Genesis. Look at these new guys. They're dope.
And I guess somehow Zack, which is, I really feel like it shouldn't been part of the story. I think part of that's just for him to have Genesis as an antagonist. But you really could have him protecting Cloud for that. But you have some kind of weird thing where somehow magically Zack's able to survive the Sephiroth cloning. And
because Cloud killed him, because Cloud's the ultimate being and he could overcome the Sephiroth ordeal. And then Hojo's like, shit, we got to get him. But you can't just have him get himself out of there, because then the game doesn't make any sense. So then you have to have Zack.
Yeah.
See, I thought my read on that was because Zack underwent some of the Mako infusion, where Cloud hadn't had any of it. So Cloud is suffering from Mako poisoning that whole entire time. And Zack was a little, he already underwent it, so it didn't have as much of an effect on him. So he was able to escape.
You could argue that maybe being Mako infused is what helped Zack, but it's also my favorite thing about Final Fantasy VII always is just Hojo being, let's just throw some shit at the wall and see what happens. I'm gonna have a dog fuck a girl, see what that works out. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah, that was the storyline, isn't it?
That is a storyline for that.
But no, you are right, Nate. I think the whole point with Cloud is just that it's like, shit, this nobody took over my literal best dude in Sephiroth. He's got to be better. Let's just pump all the cells in him. So they put the additional, and then Cloud, the whole rest of it.
Man, 7 is weird.
Yeah, and this game just made it weirder.
This game does get weirder because, as someone said, Genesis, we see Genesis show up with a bunch of Genesis clones, and they eat Zack's hair.
Yep.
Yeah, shit's cool.
It's funny. I love it.
Because they need his DNA for some reason.
Well, they're trying to stop the degrading cells of Genesis.
Yep.
Which is a thing that happens in Advent Children, I guess.
Yeah, the whole point of why Angeal's trying to fight against Shinra is to stop this degradation so he can become normal again. For him and Genesis, because he wants to save his friend, but then they can't. So then this is what ends up happening.
I really want to play. I really want to see Advent Children again. It's been so many years since I watched it.
And then it'll make you sad. I watched it before the second one came out, Rebirth, and I forgot how much Zack's in that movie, and it legit made me cry again for the 5th time.
What are the 3 antagonists' name in Advent Children? I can't remember it now. The new
Kadaj. I don't really remember.
Sephiroth Junior A, Sephiroth Junior B, and Sephiroth Junior C.
I like
that's all they are.
Boo and Super Boo.
One cries a lot and has a fist fight with Tifa. That's pretty cool.
I was trying to think of it the second you mentioned it. I'm like, fuck, I can't remember a single one of their names.
I just
because they're forgettable. They're just literally, look, you like Sephiroth? We're going to do them times 3.
One even turns into Sephiroth at the end.
We heard you like Sephiroth, so we got Sephiroth in our Sephiroth.
That's what happened.
We have Sephiroth at home.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
But what is it? We also have, I forgot what happens, because there's also there's a bunch of goofy shit that's happened in this game that I completely forgot.
Yes.
the other doctor that we just talked about, the fat guy,
Hollander?
Hollandaise, yeah.
Hollandaise, yes, Hollandaise.
No, that's
He-
Palmer.
Yeah, they like to make fun of fat people in these games. He gets a little chicken wing and also becomes Angeal. Lazard also becomes Angeal. There's a dog that's also Angeal.
You didn't understand all that.
They were really, really, really trying to find a way to become the best, is what it was. Like Holland.
But no one ever was.
Yeah,
The casting
Hollandaise
was it a real test?
Yeah, Hollandaise was actually he did the Full Metal Alchemist thing where he's like, if I don't get a good idea in like the next 2 weeks, they're gonna take me out back and shoot me. So he injects himself with Angeal cells. Yeah, and then I don't really remember why Lazar does it. I think he does it just because he's like trying to like get away from them. I think
I
he
was
does
really
it like
confused when Lazar started looking like Angio. I was like, what the fuck?
it's to make you
I
feel
thought he
bad.
was hiding from Shinra.
Yes, that's why it was. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when you
Oh.
love somebody, you see them in everybody you meet.
Even a dog.
I mean, but also if you're trying to hide from a company that wants to kill you, maybe not disguising to someone else they also want to kill is a good idea.
who's already dead.
But then
so
they'll
if
just
they
kill him again.
No, because they're like, oh, that can't be him. He's dead.
But do you
Also,
think
he's
Shinra
got-
is that logical? And they go, nah, fuck it, we'll try again. We'll just make sure.
And he's got an angel wing, so it makes you feel nice and cozy.
It's a weird
I
ass
don't know.
game. The story is
did
so
like-
weirdness. It feels like it's just so much there just to be there until the game does connect with 7. Like, I mean, the Wu-Tai stuff is cool, how they're at war, and I'm like, Wu-Tai wasn't this big in the original game, but it is cool.
God, I'm not excited for Wu-Tai in part 3. That's going to be like a whole fucking 10-hour sequence. Anyways,
Yeah.
Rocket Town. Yeah, no, that honestly, you're pretty much right too, Mike. There is just stuff in here that doesn't matter at the end of the day, anyways.
That's how I felt,
'Cause
at
I'm-
least.
Because I mean, my least favorite known fact about this game is Angeal says he does not like to use the sharp end of the sword, which means Zack's not even at full power the whole game because he is using it. But also at the beginning of fucking Advent Children, that sword's in the ground covered in rust, so you know it's kind of pointless.
Well, I mean, there's also proficiency thing with the sword in this game that I never messed with, but I saw it, where you can get like proficiency where the percentage goes up. I'm assuming you get more powerful.
Probably.
Yeah, after 2 playthroughs, I only ever had that at like 28% proficiency.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I don't know how high it can go, but it
Pretty high.
does not increase. It goes to 300.
I thought it was pretty high up, honestly.
My God.
Like
You get
it
stronger
does
at least?
not. It does not increase quickly.
No, it does not.
Caps at 95.
Oh, okay, at least not 300.
Yeah.
That's better.
So like double, basically.
That's so weird. It doesn't go to 100.
Well, that's because
No, it can, but you have to do advanced combat milestones, apparently. Oh, actually, no, never mind. It is 95 now.
Oh, that's weird.
That serves as a subtle lore that Zack is not the sword's true master.
That's Cloud is?
No,
the joke.
Angeal is.
And Geo is.
Fair.
See,
I'll
okay,
just
then
look
it
that
makes
up.
sense that it doesn't go to 100.
Yeah, I'll give it to him.
This game does a lot of cool stuff with like its in-game mechanics. Like at the end, when Zack is dying and the DMW just keeps throwing Aerith, like
That
I
was
thought
cute.
that was a cool detail. This game makes me cry. Like it's such a touching story, and I think Zack is like one of the best characters in games.
He was voted as, I believe, the most popular Final Fantasy VII character on a number of different like IGN polls over Cloud.
It's cool.
Yeah, I mean I like Cloud too, but like Zack is just
He's such a good boy.
he's so cool. Yeah.
He's a golden boy of destiny. Come on.
And he is so fucking funny. Like when he
He's
meets
so fucking
Siste,
funny.
when he meets Siste and Gangaga, and she's like, "Hey, I was at your parents' house," and he's like, "Oh, how are they?" And she's like, "Oh, your mom is just worried you're not gonna find someone to marry after this." And he's like, "What is up with that?"
Maybe that's why people like him so much. Who else is the comedic humor who works in Final Fantasy VII?
Yuffie?
Does she work all the time though?
Not all the time.
Once or twice, Yuffie hits the mark.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Barrett. Barrett's pretty funny.
Barrett's pretty funny.
But see, that's one of the things
Yeah,
about Zack is that he's relatable. He's a
That's it.
down to earth kind
He's
of guy.
John Everyman.
He's John Everyman. He's funny. He's the kind of person who'd be like, you know what, we can go out for drinks or, come on over, let's do a barbecue or something and just have a good conversation. Cloud has like the physique and all the memories stuff, but he didn't pick that up. And instead he's just Mr. Emo And I love the fact that Square even harps on that in every chance they get. Like, if you're even the original Dissidia, if you ever played that game and you beat it, it's a great game, but at the end, all the characters go back to their own world, and they all say something, either like a little reference to their game or just their personality. I can't talk. And Cloud's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, we just went on this adventure with all you.
Line.
Whatever.
That's literally Squall's line. Whatever.
I love you, Squall. Whatever.
Squall has more personality in those games than even Cloud. Like, he's just so emo. He's like, every scene, he's like, I don't even really want to be here. Like, I'm bothered to be here with you. You know, why am I with a monkey boy and an onion knight? And they Square just runs with it because that's his character. It's just become emo boy, and that's not a good character.
Kingdom Hearts reference number 25. Cloud in Kingdom Hearts 1 is a one-winged black angel.
I really like that design, though.
Yeah, but he's very emo in it.
He's very emo. He wants nothing to do with Sora. He walks by Sora like, I'm so much better than you, and you're bothering me, kid.
At least he doesn't rename himself Leon.
Yo, I don't know what's up with that. That's so dumb.
Too embarrassed. He was more emo than Cloud, and they had to undo him by making him Leon.
Is he not Leon in 9?
You're thinking of 8.
Squall is from 8.
Yeah, Squall's in 8, yeah.
But they call him Leon for some reason.
Yeah.
In 8, his final weapon is called the Leon Heart, but his name is Squall.
His name's not Squall,
it's
Leon
Heart.
No.
It's Lionheart.
Lionheart.
Oh, where the fuck Leon come from? Okay.
Where the fuck Leon come from?
They just called him Leon.
Yeah.
Leon, no!
They saw Resident Evil 4 and they went, oh, fuck.
Well, speaking of Resident Evil 4, someone bought me Resident Evil 4 during this recording, so thank you, Joe.
None of the other Final Fantasy characters were renamed except for Squall.
Yep.
Setzer was Setzer.
Whatever.
It's like, but him, yeah. But yeah, if you've never beaten Dissidia, like, you could just go to YouTube and look up the ending when they all say goodbye, which is a really great ending, by the way, especially with the way it ends. But just watch the way they treat both Squall and Cloud, but definitely Cloud. Like, he's just like, you know, Zidane is so happy and like swinging from a tree with his tail, and, you know, Onion Knight is chipper, and you know, Cecil and Warrior of Light are more stoic, and then you have Cloud is just like, fuck you all, I don't want to be here.
I do want to play Dissidia someday. Someday I'll get to it.
Think tapped out on what this is. So,
We're getting close.
Yeah.
we kind of talk about the end where Zack dies and then Cloud takes over his persona, which I don't understand why, but yeah.
it's
Mako poisoning. Last thing he sees, he gets the sword from him, and he's like, literally, carry on my will. I've got one of the last things. It's my honor, my dreams, they're yours now. That's what he says to Cloud as he's giving him the sword. So,
and he takes it literally.
Yeah. Drunk guy, probably could.
Which is dumb.
Yep, but he's pretty
Well,
drunk,
I mean,
so...
Mako poisoning, Sephiroth cells being injected in your body.
so
Still dumb because it's now suddenly you have the entire backstory, and suddenly I am that person.
You know what? Here's
Well-
the cool thing, though. I wish I could just all of a sudden one day be like, you know what? I'm just going to be a soldier first class and have the skills and abilities to do that without the
Yeah, exactly, just magical.
Because literally the next scene, he's on top of that fucking train, and like you wreck
he's on top
house
of that
in the
train.
start of that game.
Oh yeah, they do
Yeah,
show that leading right up to 7.
Yep.
That is probably the coolest thing about the game is it's literally right into 7.
It made me want to play Remake. I actually
Mhm.
bought Remake yesterday because of this game.
Nice.
And I've
See-
been sitting on buying that for years. And I was like, fuck it, it's on sale for 13. I'm just going to buy it.
That's a good price for it.
It was.
Yep. Yeah.
I hope you like Uncharted.
all-
That's all I'll say.
All
Because
of
it's
the
literally
Cloud-
Uncharted Final Fantasy.
I like 2, 3,
Oh.
4, and
all of the Cloud stuff, I just chalk up to like the Mako poisoning, and then like I guess he would have some soldier skills because he left Nibelheim to go into soldier, but he only made it to like trooper status.
Yes, he was
So-
a trooper. He was underground for 4 years.
Yeah.
Mako poisoned, and then is killing people with Barrett 2 days later.
And then all of his memories, like when he recounts the Nibelheim incident, like he was technically there for that. So it's
Yeah.
not like false memories, gaining Zack's memories. He's just like, oh, I was here and I must have been the soldier that was there.
Yep.
He was there with a helmet on as opposed
I
to
have
center
the
stage.
sword. I remember
Yeah.
the sword.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was the guy with the sword.
Yeah. So
So-
he's just, I'm feeling
So weird.
where
So the-
I was on that memory.
But that's like if you left your house right now to go to the army and you made it through basic training and you became infantry and then suddenly something happened to you and now suddenly you're like, I'm a Marine, and like you're running around like you're an actual, US Marine. It'd be like, no, you don't have the skills to go from infantry to US Marine. There's a lot of training to go between those two.
And it's not even that. You're literally like SEAL Team 6 Mission Impossible. Because there's
Yeah,
only
like,
four of you in the
does he
entire
actually,
world. And you
does he actually
you can man
have
a
the
submarine.
skills, or is he just telling
He
the
mans a
people that he's
submarine
with?
later in the game.
Well, is he just telling the people that he's with, "Hey, I'm a soldier first class. I know what I'm doing," and he's just making it up as it like he's just doing regular attacks, and they're like, "Okay, you swung a sword, cool." Like,
So I have three ways to I have several ways to explain the cloud thing. It actually makes perfect today. So
I don't know, perfect sense and Final Fantasy go in together, but all right, I'll listen.
it does. No, I promise. So the way you work around that. So the way it does take a little bit of the remake, but you can use the original game. So the whole idea is the people in cloak that you see in Final Fantasy VII are Sephiroth clones as well, correct?
Yeah, they're people injected with
Yeah.
T cells after Cloud and Zack escaped from the mansion.
But technically, those guys are able to do whatever Sephiroth does, even though technically they've never had any formal training either. But that's also Sephiroth taking over their body. So first thing is, technically, you could argue what technically happens is Cloud suffers from the Chocobo Chick syndrome, which basically what it was and what it is. Technically, Cloud's supposed to imprint on Sephiroth. That's what those clones do. But during the whole supposed to be in the tube sequence as being brain dead, he technically imprints on Zack because in the original Final Fantasy VII story, Zack spends the whole trip telling him his whole life story. So of course he's gonna end up having a whole thing where he's like, "Oh, I am Zack. I know everything about Zack. I remember my birthday. I remember going to training, things like that." Also, technically, you do see this a little bit in the remake, but it is confirmed that doing the Mako injection does give you super strength. But so technically, even though he does have basic training, it's like technically Captain America, if you want to be more specific about it. He's still able to basically swing around a giant 5-foot long, probably 100-pound blade that like most people can't. So it is kind of a thing of like, oh, this guy must be Soldier First Class. Look how fast he's moving and how quick and how strong he is. And obviously he's wearing the uniform. So technically you can make that argument too, but it is basically a guy who went through basic training with super strength, which also technically is Captain America.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the difference is that the Mako is the one, and then the guys who had the Genova cells are like the super soldiers.
Yeah.
And you still get super soldier serum from Mako, but it's not super soldier serum.
Yeah. The guys in the troops couldn't handle. I think they're not. I think that's also what it is too. They're not. They weren't supposed to be compatible. I think it's also what it is.
That's where you get the things in the tubes. I think too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to admit, I'm really impressed you didn't somehow link that back to Kingdom Hearts.
Nah.
Shit. We can get there. Hold on.
I can get there if you want me to.
and then nominate.
Yeah, Sorora and nominate.
So you see, Cloud chained his memories with Zack.
Oh my god!
When you summon Chicken Little, the sky might fall. So
was he recoded with new information?
You could almost say Zack is Cloud's nobody.
He was birthed by sleep.
You could kind of say that.
You could say that. Just like in Moon Knight.
Yep,
in Moon Knight.
He was birthed by sleep. That is
he is.
God damn it.
Cloud is birthed by sleep.
I told you.
Somebody do the math on 365 divided by 2 for 4 years somehow. Just make it work.
That's actually a really good game.
You know what? In order to do that, you really got to, dream drop the distance.
Yes, damn it.
Anything else to say about Final Fantasy VII Reunion that doesn't involve Kingdom Hearts somehow?
Yeah, this is like, I don't know. This seems like a really fun, weird DLC, and that was kind of like the cool thing about it. They added a lot of good story to it, which is fantastic, but the gameplay is kind of like mid at best. That's really where I'm at.
Yeah, it gets so tiring, and that made me upset.
Repetitive. That's also why I was like, I'm not going to play this for like the 5th fucking time. I played this like every day when I was like 15, so.
Here's a question for you. A lot of people fondly remember this game. Obviously, we also fondly remember this game. If this was not set in Final Fantasy VII's world, if this was the same game, different characters, Square called it something else like The Lord of Exile, if you remember that in the PSP, was just a random Square game, like just something else, would it be fondly remembered, or would it be like Lord of Exile, a game forgotten and no one talks about it anymore?
No, I would finally remember this. As someone mentioned earlier, and I 100% agree. Zack's a fun character. I love him to pieces. He's funny. He's energetic. He has a very good story. Yes, you could just make this in a generic world, and I probably still would have fond memories of it. But it would basically just, man, I sure am glad I bought this game on a random day on the PSP, because you also kind of did that as a kid too. You took your chances. Games were expensive back then.
Yep.
I mean, they're more expensive now, for the record, but yes.
Like I said this earlier, it reminds me a lot of Evolution, and that's like one of weirdly my favorite games, but I don't think it hits the same level. So like I think I would like this even if it wasn't a Final Fantasy game, but I don't think the gameplay would have kept me around for the whole 100 hours to 100% it.
I agree.
Prime example, two of my favorite games are games no one gives a shit about. One is No More Heroes. I love that game to pieces.
Good game.
The other one, I've never seen Twin Peaks, but I love Deadly Premonition. That game's like one of my top 10 games.
That's fair.
I wonder how it would have sold, though. Like, that's a good question. Like,
Probably would have sold well.
Would you have even picked it up on a whim? You might have picked something else up. Like
This would have been a sleeper hit, but that exists too back from these games as well.
Did you pick up Lord of Exile on the PSP from Square?
Hell no.
See, I even did that at launch, but I did that just because it was a Square game, and I was like, oh, I love Square games. Let me give that a shot. It was okay what I played, but forgettable. You know,
All right.
a lot, exactly that.
Let me tell you the biggest issue with this game is it came out after the PS3 was released.
But yeah, that
If this
hurt.
was if this was a PS2 game, I would have been on board 100%. But it was a PSP game right after the PS3 came out, and it was just like kind of whoosh.
Yeah, you could have missed the mark then at that point.
Yeah.
Was this also wasn't part of this too? The big thing did this also did not help? What was it that was a big thing for PlayStation 3? The Final Fantasy 7 opening, and everyone's like, "We're getting a 7 remake on the PS3."
The technical test is what it was called. The tech demo or whatever.
And they're like, "Here's Crisis Core. You guys happy with that? So you are making a 7 remake? We never said that. Stop asking."
That's another reason I hate this game. Like the 7 universe, like the fans, death threats over that stupid tech demo is dumb. That's just dumb. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. You should never death threat over a video game.
Yeah, it's just so ridiculous. And that's exactly what this is. It's literally to cater to a rabid audience. I'm not saying people who liked it. I'm not saying people who played it, or even just generic 7 fans. But there's so many that are just rabid for the nostalgia that they're going insane, and they still go insane for anything 7. That's why they did Remake, and Remake didn't do as well as they wanted. Rebirth did even worse in sales, and they're like, why did it do worse? Because you took a game and you split it into 3 parts, charged full price for every part. You told people to buy a PS4, then you switched it to PS5 and said, now you got to buy a PS5, and like people are mad about that. Like, you burned a lot of bridges doing this game.
Also, Kingdom Hearts 4 is not yet.
Yeah.
Is now what?
Kingdom Hearts 4 is now equally taking forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
They'll work on it after Revelation comes out.
Yes, that's the problem.
At least we finally got to see some stuff this week.
True.
Yeah.
Looks decent. I don't know. Vincent looked interesting.
All right. Anything else to say that we haven't mentioned yet?
Speaking of Vincent, did everybody find the Vincent Easter egg?
I did not.
Oh yeah, the coffin that you go to and you can click it.
Yeah, if you go to the basement for the house, you can find the coffin, and Zack will be like, "I'm not fucking with that. You have a good day."
Oh, that's cool.
Really?
Yep.
Because I used the coffin key and Bugs came out, and I went, "Oh," I was like, "Well, I'm not going to do that again."
Yeah, he opens the coffin. He goes, "There's a man in there," and he closes it back shut. And he's like, "I'm not messing with that today."
Huh, I did not do that.
Yeah, because he's technically there in the coffin the whole time.
He's like, "I have enough problems to deal with today."
Yeah. I like Genesis's sword too. That's a pretty cool weapon thing. Don't know anything I can think of.
All right. Let's go to questions, memories, and comments then. I do have a few. First, from I watched the entire Orblood Super Replay. I got one. From Crystal, it's on my list to play soon. You should. I know we bitched about it a lot, but you should play it. Still a good game.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And then from the official Laser Time community, I got nothing. And from the RPG Sanctuary, I got a few, so thank you guys. I got plenty, actually. I'll see how much I can read. From Peter Glenn, I don't remember much either, other than thinking it was bunk that Zack couldn't handle a few hundred grunt soldiers after literally taking out a god. I enjoyed the game and the lore, though. Man, that's a good
Sora.
point.
He's not Sora from Kingdom Hearts 2. Your fan's gonna hate us.
Kobe would, but Kobe, I'm pretty sure, won't listen to this anyway, so he'll be fine. From Christopher Lath, I enjoyed it being old and not having the free time I use. I appreciate it not being the length of Rebirth. But this game is not short, though, either.
It's 10 hours. It's 10 hours. It's not bad.
Okay, Rebirth is really long, right?
It's like
Yeah,
100 hours, dude.
60. I think I had 75 to 80 by the end of it.
Did you quit
Yeah,
halfway through like we all did?
Yeah, Gungaga. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said I'm done with the.
From
I'm done with
George
Public
Daskell.
Things.
Haven't played Reunion yet, but I played the OG on the PSP loads of time. I love that game. It's pretty much the same thing, so.
It's the thing. They do have new voice actors, and the cutscenes are redone.
I mean, the cutscenes are so fucking pretty in this. That I have to say. They are so pretty. And from Chris Best, just started the other day, still in the first chapter. All I can say is Zack's personality is not growing on me. I hope something happens to change that. It's called Eris. It will. From Chris Wolfwin, I just finished this. It's actually a really good game. Don't let the pace fool you either. Those missions get really hard and require you to get up and break damage limit. High Jump, Darkness, and Try Thundaga will be great friends for you.
I
didn't mess with any of that.
Yeah, High Jump gives you a ton of iframes, and it makes the game pretty easy.
And from...
We live in a future, Mike, where you can look up what abilities to fuse together. Don't forget that.
But I didn't care, so... there was that. It wasn't interesting. I was just kind of like, how I get with the games at a certain point, I'm just kind of done.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I got with this. I was like, okay, I had fun. I'm done now. And I'm going to turn this game off. So, I had a great time. I was just done. And then from Casey Alexander Stewart, Crisis Core is devastatingly beautiful. That is a very true statement. This game does look really good. Still, I was surprised how good this game looks after all this time. And then from Aaron McKell Walker, I played Crisis Core in 2024 after Rebirth. It was mainly for the story, but I remember getting addicted to the materia combining mechanic. I did so many side missions that I pretty much one-shotted Sephiroth. In preparation for Revelation, I'm going to replay Crisis Core, Remake, and Rebirth, see how many more trophies I can pick up along the way. This comment makes me laugh. From Mark Sasoda, there's also a sequel spin-off, Dirge of Cerberus, which is currently stuck in the PS2. It is a third-person shooter kind of similar to Devil May Cry. Just emulate after you finish playing Revelation next year. And they have no word yet up be port remastered to modern consoles. I have, and it's also on this podcast. See, that was the first 7 game we ever did, many, many years ago. Don't really know why.
Is it crazy?
Yeah. From Lilo, Crisis Core is one of my favorite games in the whole franchise, and Zack is my favorite FF character. Reunion is okay. I just think the new English voice for Zack is horrible. The original actor from the PSP is leagues better. I played Reunion in Japanese because of this.
Oh yeah, go listen to the original Zack voice actor. I love that guy.
I was going to say, I'll have to go listen to that because I really like the Zack VA.
Yeah, and the one for the new VA, my personal opinion, is not bad, but you can't. No offense, you can't beat the first one.
I have no memory, so.
Aerith's voice actress in this is so good.
Is it the same one from Remake?
I think so.
I think so. She does such a good job.
I think that what they were doing too is that they were getting the new voice actors to voice, because obviously, like we said, spoiler, but Zack is in the remake, so
and it's the same voice actor.
Yeah, it's the same voice actor. He does great in the remakes.
I was just wondering about that because I know people. I didn't really think much about it. I'm just going to read a few more from Simon Sebastian. Can't wait for Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Revelation. Dumb. Okay. From Cage Wilson. Didn't you mention the best part of the OST, Price of Freedom, is top 3 greatest pieces of music Umetsu has ever created? I don't even know what this is.
Price of Freedom is just the main theme.
Yeah, it's the main thing. I thought people like the Apple Tree one though.
It's the same song.
Is it? Okay,
motif.
sorry.
It's the same motif. Yeah, it's the same
Got
motif.
it.
It's all, yeah, so
I always call it Fallen from the Apple Tree. I thought that's what it was.
Man, they talk way too much about apples in this game.
Dumb apples.
I was tired of apples. All right, and from Neil Powell, a solid disappointment. Basically, PSP version with new graphics, not worth the money at all.
Okay.
From Samuel Jarrell, fan of the PSP original. This is probably my favorite PSP game. Played the hell out of it on Switch. Beat every mission too. Highly recommended. I think I'm just going to read one more. From Rachel Conlon, this game was great. I got really stuck on one of the boss fights because of the game's movement mechanic. It took me forever to clear, and my friend rage quit, so she never finished the game. Actually, I got one more to read. From Jeremy Horu, activating combat phase. Conflict resolved.
There it is.
There it is.
Conflict resolved. Dang, I was going to use that at the end. I'll mix it up.
Yeah, I'm going to start ending all my conversations with conflict resolved.
I would say that's probably not going to work very well for you. You don't get to like, zip out of VR afterwards. Yeah. Combat initiated.
Like, what the fuck? They'll just look at you like, what's going on, mate?
Like when I'm done paying at the grocery store, conflict resolved.
Mike, every time your phone goes off for work, to be like entering combat mode.
Man, that's how it feels like sometimes. So, I wouldn't mind that, actually. Instead of it just ringing in my ear and all of a sudden, I'm like, oh shit, I got to do something. Yeah, I would prefer that. And I guess I should give away a Steam code. Let's see what my next one is. I'm getting through them, though. So that always makes me happy. I just have too many. All right, your next Steam code is for Praetorians HD Remastered. No idea what this is. And your Steam code is 8Q2EFW7FJ4BJFQB. That is your Steam code for Praetorians HD Remastered. Does anybody know what that is?
Never even heard of it.
Something Roman, probably, if it's Praetorian.
No idea. Just, I know I own it, so it's one of those things. And who's joining me?
I'm Tony Garcia, otherwise also known as Mr. Lockhart.
Hi, welcome back. And I know you weren't able to make the main recording, but I'm glad you could join us still so we could talk about, one of your favorite franchises.
Yeah, you think? What gave it away?
A few things. And what is your history with Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion? I said it wrong, but...
Yeah, I'm not that anal about it, but... shoot, the original came out...
Or the remake.
Eons
Did you play the original?
Yeah. Yes, I did, actually. And because, I think it caught me off guard. Because I don't remember seeing it at all until out of nowhere. I just saw it somewhere, there's another Final Fantasy VII? Or, it's a prequel? What the hell is this? Oh, it's about the dude that was in the game for 5 minutes. And I'm like, what's his deal? I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm like, all right, so I tried it out. I got through, a good chunk of it on the PSP back in the day, but I never finished it, I think, because, me being visually impaired, even on the PSP, I still had trouble seeing shit on there. And so I think I just gave up eventually. And then I probably just watched a YouTube video explaining the story. But then many, many years later, I still, when the remake, when the remaster or remake, whatever the hell you want to call it, came out.
Remake.
Yeah, it is pretty much a remake. Then I played that all the way through. In fact, I played that about a month, I played that and read the book Traces of Two Pasts back to back. About a month before Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out. And doing that, man, Aerith needs all the hugs in the world. just that poor girl.
Fair.
But another thing that baffled me about that remake is, okay, so 2020, the Final Fantasy VII remake comes out, PS4 exclusive. Year later, it gets ported to PS5. And then of course at the time, still both those things are still exclusive to PlayStation. This Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion comes out. It's available on everything from the start, but it's supposed to be a prequel to or it's supposed to be connected more to the the remake trilogy. But you're not going to be able to hear the whole story unless you had a PlayStation.
From what little I remember of the first Crisis Core, this is pretty much the same game, just way prettier.
It is, because it's just got the voice acting built in, because a lot of the original game didn't have that. And that's what really pissed me off, because I couldn't read the text. But props to Square Enix for getting the same voice actors from the remake trilogy to do their reprise their roles. So we got Brianna White as Aerith and Britt Baron as Tifa for a little bit, and then I think a lot of people didn't like the new Zack, because I think it's a different guy, if I remember right.
People just like the bitch.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it's a new guy. We talked about
shut up.
Too.
He sounds good.
I was surprised this game got re-released, because Genesis is based on a actor, and so that was a big issue for them to wear his likeness.
Oh wow!
I was really surprised when this game came back.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And this game also released after remake, but before the second part, correct?
Yeah, but that's what I was pointing at earlier. That even the remake and rebirth were PlayStation exclusives. This game came out on everything, because I remember playing it on Xbox.
That's what you meant. Okay, I thought this was also exclusive to start with too. It's just weird how that all console exclusives work nowadays. I used to make complete sense. Now at this point, it's we don't need this anymore.
But then I liked how when they revealed Revelation, and then at the end of the trailer they revealed there's all the different game console logos. It's going to be multi-platform to start. Which I'm happy about that, because back when the other two came out, and I'm just it sucks that these are only PlayStation exclusive. I want everyone to experience this, and I'm not one of those people. It
hurts your sales nowadays. We don't need console exclusives anymore. Those days are gone. I get it. You made it, so Sony makes it. I get it, but when it's other things, just let it be. So it bothers me too. So not a fan. I mean, how did you feel about all like the battle system? With it being very repetitive.
I found it like kind of reminiscent or kind of resembling Kingdom Hearts a little bit, and like I didn't realize that until someone pointed it out to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, and which I was fine with because like the menu based combat, if it was more like that, like the original game, I definitely would have had like issues like seeing the stuff, and I mean I had a similar problem with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because they for whatever reason in remake they actually went with like a black background and white text on all the little menus, but they reversed that in Rebirth. And then I'm hoping for Revelation, at least they let you change it because I remember back in the old game you could change the color of all the text boxes like to whatever you want, which like led to seeing some like really funky colors like on people's screenshots and stuff. But still, yeah, combat though, I didn't hate it. I mean, I get why people were annoyed by the whole combat or conflict resolved or something. Activating combat, no. That I get. Which it did seem cool at first, like because instead of getting the each time you get a quicker conflict resolve. Oh, that's it. Okay,
yeah, but
cool.
It gets annoying. I mean, I played it without sound half the damn time, so it didn't bother me. But yeah. Unless I was doing story stuff, I don't need to hear bullshit. I don't care.
Yeah.
So
then I get how
because I assume like because I know you love 7, so like playing this must have been also like interesting getting that extra backstory. Like, did you fall in love with 7 from the first one, or was it remake that made you fall in love with it?
Oh no, I was on board with. Well, I was kind of late to the party with the original because I rented it at some video store that was by my house back in the day. Remember when that was a thing? And so like I think it was like me, my brother, and one of his friends. We always heard about this game, this Final Fantasy VII. Oh, it's like the second coming basically, and this and that. And I'm like, let's check this out. And then we go get it, and I'm like, this looks like ass. And like we didn't really get too much into it. And I just remember being like, this is the stupidest game ever. And then fast forward like a year later, my uncle on my dad's side, he gave me an old PlayStation he had that was like one of the first iterations of the original PlayStation where it still had like the AV ports in the back.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? It's a thing.
Like the coaxial, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like the AV ports, like I thought that's what they were called.
AV would be the red, yellow, white one, which they all should have.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it was like actually on the console itself, like because the connector cables for them were like double-ended.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Never mind. It's been a long time since I messed with
yeah. But so he gave me one of those PlayStations, but it was also like on the brink of retiring because it was at the point where you had to like put the thing upside down for it to work properly. I don't get why. And so he gave me like a handful of games and like demo discs too. Like there was like Resident Evil, Destruction Derby. It was the original Resident Evil, not Director's Cut. Destruction Derby, I think Crash Bandicoot, Final Fantasy VII, and then like some demo discs that I don't remember what was on them. So I saw Final Fantasy VII again. I'm like, oh, this fucking game. And so in 1998, I had actually mentioned this briefly when you did the Final Fantasy VII episode. In fact, that's what got me to start listening to this podcast.
Yeah, you found us.
Yeah, and I actually commented on like how this game got me through a tough time, and I was like pleasantly surprised that you read my comment and stuff, which is really cool. But so what happened at that time was I had dropped out of high school and for about a year. And during that time, well, because like for one, my mom let it happen because she made some questionable decisions. But also at the same time, there's just a lot of stuff going on around the house that was not great for me or for anyone else involved. And so that was just kind of my escape into just to get away, sort of. And I'm in this whole other world, while I'm playing this game and everything, nobody's bothering me, having a good time and everything. So yeah. So I stuck with it, and then it like ended up being like one of the best games ever.
I mean, playing Crisis Core got me to buy the remake, as I said earlier in this episode, finally, because I know this is technically now considered part of that trilogy, so quadrilogy now, or however you say it. Technically,
I can't say it either.
Yeah, but technically that's what it is, because this one is part of that series, and that's something that also kind of grabbed me. Like it, I'm assuming it fits well into it with Zack and stuff. I had forgotten Eris before this.
You said the wrong A word, but I'm gonna let that go.
Oh, Eris, right?
Aerith. I know there's a whole debate.
Well, mine is based off the player's guide that was wrong back in the day.
Well,
I
then, like
can't
I
change
heard, I was like that too with Aerith, whatever. But then, like I heard at some point, I think it was the first Kingdom Hearts where they changed it to Aerith. And
Well, the Japanese, it was, if I remember correctly, it was Aerith, and then they changed it to Aerith in the English translation.
I think it was because there was a translation error on our end.
Oh, that was super fucking common back then.
But which also in the first Kingdom Hearts, she was voiced by pop star Mandy Moore.
Which is really weird when I sometimes look back at that. Like,
But no, for like as for Crisis Core now being part of the lore, I guess for it, I guess because that's like I think that's what the point of Rebirth was to retell the story of Seven, or at least the meat of it, in like but acknowledging the stuff that happened in Crisis Core as well to a degree, for better or worse or whatever.
yeah, because it wasn't written yet, so
Yeah.
hard to plan for stuff you hadn't written yet.
Well, because like one or two characters, I won't say who, because I know you just got Remake and Rebirth recently on Steam.
I won't play them for yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to say anything because, like, because there are two, or 1, 2, or a couple. I don't know who. Like, some characters that do return from Crisis Core that do show up in Rebirth that weren't in the original story.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool.
It was vaguely mentioned. So I'm excited to play those now. I've been sitting on the sidelines until they finished it, but since they finally announced the third one and then playing this, I was like, okay, it's time for me to finally play Remake next year and start the series.
What's funny is when like Remake, Crisis Core Reunion, and Rebirth all came out, I was living in like 3 different houses.
Oh, hopefully you're not living in a different house when you play the next one.
Sadly, I probably will be, because the lease that I live at, or the house that I live at right now, our lease runs up in spring 2027. So it's probably just going to come out, or it's probably come out after I move. So,
you're like, don't make a 4th one. I don't want to move again.
Right. But
what did you think about Genesis? With him being one of like the big new characters of this,
I did not care for him. Because like even like when I played recently, I'm like, oh, this, because like I don't know, he just goes on and on and on about that story Loveless, and that's like 95% of his dialogue, and is just quoting this damn story. And and so it's just like I kind of just would just tune him after my first playthrough, though. Pretty much any repeat playthroughs I've done, like I just ignore him, or just I'll even fucking skip the cutscene.
Yeah, he's not. I don't care for him either.
And I was like dreading that, like, like when I was playing Rebirth, and I'm like figuring out, okay, so this thing from Crisis Core is being referenced. Okay, so this thing's Genesis is gonna show up, isn't he? God, but thankfully he didn't. Oh shit. Well.
Oh, you're fine.
Well, I'll save you from that at least.
It doesn't affect me. Like, I'll play them. I don't. Yeah. So who knows? I'll even remember this by the time I get around. I mean, Rebirth might not even be 2027 for me. That might be. Who knows?
I mean, it would be cool if you did episodes for those two next year, because next year is the 30th anniversary for Final Fantasy VII.
And it might happen.
Just throwing that out there.
That gives me an incentive to actually do that. We shall see. I know. I do want to play it. Like, this game. Besides it being very repetitive, it was fun. I mean, again, it was originally a handheld game, so it was made to be, repetitive.
Yeah,
that way.
Oh yeah, I definitely got that. Especially now with when I was playing, because I was basically doing New Game Plus with my Xbox save file when I was trying to replay it for this episode, and like the fact that like Zack, I already have Zack like maxed out, or I had him maxed out before I even finished the game the first time around. Which I don't know. Well, yeah, you do a lot of the missions. I didn't do them all, but I did a good amount of them to like get maxed out by the time I reached the end game. Which turns out, if you do that, like at the end with where Zack is having his last stand, that thing goes on way longer than it needs to be.
Well, yeah, because you can't die because you're so strong.
Oh, there is a point where the game's like, okay, that's enough, and then there's like an instant kill switch, basically.
Good, because some people are going to level all the way up, so you need a way to be like, oh, he died. I don't know. Playing this game felt like was like a brand new experience, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Still so weird. It's such a weird ass story.
The one thing I did like, and this is what kind of started turning me around to like not hating this character as much, is the Yuffie missions.
Those were adorable.
Because like the way she was just kind of troll troll Zack the whole time, but then he'd also be kind of like he'd play along because he knew he's being screwed with sometimes. And then like or like when he first meets her and she's like, oh yeah, well I'll stop you, and she like does the fake punches on him, and he like pretends that he's hurt, and she's like, yeah, I did it, I saved the town, and then Naruto runs off the screen or whatever. But then like some of the emails you get from her are pretty funny, where she's like, "Hey, I heard there's a treasure over here. This isn't the person who like tricked you before."
I didn't read the email.
No, that her, or at least hers.
But I lost interest.
Hers were pretty great.
I lost interest pretty
No,
quick,
hers-
and I was like, I'm done.
And so like, and then I'm like, okay, I like that they're giving, or they're like focusing on her sense of humor or whatever for like this new iteration of her, because like when what's it called, Intergrade, or Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade came out for PS5 and later on PC, like they had the Yuffie DLC built in it.
Oh yeah, because she's not in Remake, she shows up in that, right?
Yeah, it's like a whole new story, but like it was supposedly like what she was up to while or before you like meet her, or before the gang meets her. Because I guess like you could meet her very early on in the original game, because in the
Yes.
original, like her and Vincent were like just random. You're like random encounters. Or no, she was a random encounter.
Yeah,
But
you have to
I
go
don't
to
know
a
how early
certain
you
woods,
meet her.
but you can meet her shortly after Midgar if you know where to go. Because I did that when I played it for the first time. Well, not for the time, but the first time for the show, I did that, and I went and I got her quickly.
Oh wow, yeah, because that never happened to me. I had to like, I think it was like past the big snake was when I finally got. It was like the earliest I've ever been able to.
I thought I got her sooner, but then again, it's been a bit since I did it for the show. I don't remember, but I think you can get her pretty early after Midgar. Maybe it's after Midgar Zolom or around before. I don't remember, but it wasn't late. Vincent, I know, is the first time you get to Nibelheim.
Yeah.
I know, seeing all that stuff in
then-
Crisis Core just made me go like, Tifa, how do you not realize that Zack and Cloud are not Cloud's not the same person? How? But I guess, when you get your ass beat and get smacked, your memories aren't very good.
There is an explanation somewhat in Rebirth.
I can't. It was probably in 7. I just don't remember.
It was in the original too, but then just given how stories sort of getting changed around for the remake trilogy, who knows what it's going to be now. But yeah, I was just like, I think it was a mixture of her not remembering clearly or just kind of keeping it a secret because she didn't want things to like change.
Because Cloud was Cloud actually from Nibelheim?
Yes, he was, because the
so-
book. Because in the book, Traces of Two Paths, yeah, that's how nerdy I'm going to get. I'm bringing up a book.
Well, that's fine.
She does, because it's like half of the book is about Tifa's childhood and the other half is Aerith's childhood, but like back when they were like little, like youngins. And Tifa knew Cloud, like, because like I'm gonna guess Cloud has like some form of like autism, just because like his attitude in the book, at least when he was young, like Tifa would describe him as like he just like would not say shit, or he'd be like very unresponsive to anything. And when she tried to like reach out to him or a couple times, but because also in that village in Nibelheim, there was like her and 4 boys. Those were the only kids in the town, and so she was the only girl, and so she kind of became a bit of a tomboy a little bit, and then until like the book implies she kind of developed early on. And then the boys took notice, except Cloud, of course. And but then they always, so like the boys would always
I didn't
be
know
trying
that,
to like one-on-one. But then she's like, no, let's make sure so and so the other people get here and this and that. But she was like always kind of keep like had an eye for Cloud, weird as he was as a kid. But whatever, you do you too.
Okay, I couldn't remember what was fake and what was real, and this game didn't help me with that. So I was just curious.
This game's just gonna make it worse.
I figured. That's fine. I am definitely looking forward to playing Remake and Rebirth and then Revelation at some point.
Yeah, as am
Especially
I.
now that it's. Did you ever play Dirge of Cerberus?
Very briefly, because I remember like seeing that, or no, I think I knew about it coming out. I'm like, oh, there's a new Final Fantasy game, or Final Fantasy VII game. Okay, cool. Oh, it's starring Vincent. Awesome. And so I remember picking it up. I just go into GameStop out of nowhere and just go buy it. Came home and I'm trying it out, and I'm like, what is this? And because I just remember being like, oh, like there's more Final Fantasy VII related stuff coming out. Okay, cool, let's do it. I'm like, Kingdom Hearts was pretty cool, or no? I think did Kingdom Hearts come out first?
Kingdom Hearts was already first one was definitely already out, and 2 was close to that time, if not might not already been out, but it was definitely close.
Okay, because I remember playing Kingdom Hearts 1 and then being like, okay, cool. So Final Fantasy VII's kind of back in the spotlight a little bit, and then it's got a whole new game, but oh wait, it sucks. Like this does not feel like a Final Fantasy at all.
No, I remember I bought that the day it came out.
Feels like Resident Evil with even shittier controls.
Yeah, it has issues.
And but so I remember not playing it very long. I'm like, well, I hope the next Final Fantasy VII related thing is pretty great. And then, which I think was Advent Children, which I'm I know people have their gripes about that movie, especially nowadays, because it probably doesn't really hold up very well. But I don't care. I still love it.
I have not seen it in. I wouldn't be surprised. It's been 20 years. So it's supposed. I've been meaning to do it for the show for a long time. It actually was planned, but then it just never happened. One of those things I got to get to.
Oh, really? And it didn't. I could have sworn I saw the name on the episode list, and I was like listening.
No, we did Dirge of Cerberus and regular FF7, but we've never done Advent. We did Spirits Within. We did that movie for some reason.
I did watch that recently, and that was actually okay.
I like that movie, but a lot of people do not.
I always think about the bit from Life is Strange where Max looks at a TV or something, or she's like, she's like goes in the dorm room of the closet or the college she's at. Like if you look, there's one of the TVs that like one of the big fancy. She like goes like, oh, I would totally like to sneak in and watch my favorite sci-fi movie on this TV. I don't care what anyone says. Final Fantasy VII Spirits Within is the best movie ever. Oh, Square.
I thought that was hilarious that they worked that in there. So I wasn't complaining when they did that.
I laughed my ass off when I saw that.
I was like, props to you, Swear. It's a fine movie. It just should. If it would have been called something else, it would have probably done better.
Oh, definitely.
If it's called Spirits Within, it shouldn't have had the Final Fantasy name, and that's a whole nother. Yeah.
Well, I get because of the whole thing of like each Final Fantasy, or at least all the mainline ones, each one's supposed to be its own story.
But at the time, like they weren't. It just didn't. You had like 8 or so at the time. I don't think even 9 had came out yet, so it was just a bad time.
I think 10 had just come out.
Oh, was it already 10? Damn. I don't know. I just know people were very upset, and I was one of them. But I enjoy it. I enjoy it now. Now I think it's a good movie.
Yeah, but
we haven't done Advent Children yet. I am kind of getting into the 7 mood again, and now that I'm doing a few of these.
Excellent.
So we'll see. This reminded me that I do like 7.
Yep.
Also, the reason I brought up Dirge is because in Revelations, there's rumor that, from the designer, the director said if it does good, maybe Dirge of Cerberus will be a DLC for Revelations.
That's weird. Or however they're going to do that. Like, unless if they're going to like make a whole new game based on like or it's just like a Vincent only like story mode or something.
Yeah, I mean that's what it would.
I don't know if they could be, because I don't know if they'd actually go out of their way to like remake or remaster Dirge of Cerberus like on the same level as the Crisis Core reunion was. Although
there's not that much story in that game. It is relevant to this because Dirge of Cerberus is during the big resurgence of Final Fantasy VII. Like when you get this, you get Advent Children. All that came right at around the same time.
And then also I think there was that, which still aggravates me to this day, even though the remake is already 2/3 done. The PS3 tech demo for the opening of Final Fantasy VII, that was the biggest just cock tease ever. And like I just remember seeing that for the first time, and I like my jaw probably like hit the floor for like the whole time I was like watching that. And and then I just remember like right after that the video plays, at whatever E3 this was, the guy on the stage is like, "We just want to let you know we have no plans to remake Final Fantasy VII." You fucker.
Yeah, we talked about that too. All right, and then we should go to Shelf, Stacker, Box. And where would you put Crisis Core?
Shelf. Yeah, no, in all seriousness, I mean, it's still a good game. In fact, it literally is on my shelf right now. I have the PS5 version physically, and then, but yeah, it's still, it's a part of the story. And as weird as it is, and as much as I would be okay with seeing another remake of it if they like just cut out Genesis. But no, it has its charm, and like with like. With the way new characters are handled in that, and just seeing cool events that were referenced in the original 7, just seeing that all play out now. And what's kind of cool is in the mobile game Ever Crisis, there's a young version of Angeal. He's a playable character in that, so it's pretty cool like putting him and Zack together on a team to take on.
I need to play Ever Crisis someday.
It takes a bit to start because you have to do all the tutorials and unlock all the shit that you can get access to in that game. But
that's why I never played it.
Yeah, I know. But still, if you stick with it, and once you get to a point where you can be in a guild or start a guild or whatever, hell, join with me. I'll get you leveled up quick.
It's one of those things that I started it once, I downloaded it, and then I got no tutorial crap, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with this shit, and then I just turned it off.
I was like a year behind because when it came out, I had like the shittiest phone ever. It was like a crappy little $200 phone, and it couldn't like the moment I tried to like run it, it couldn't even like run the title screen properly. And I'm like, no, I can't play this game. And then it came out on Steam. I didn't have a computer at the time, and I'm so pissed off. I can't play this game because I'd see all the costumes that are coming out, or I hear about the different events. Then I just remember like the first one being, of course, was like a Christmas themed costume for Tifa, because like she ended up becoming the little app icon for that month of December.
That's what broke. That's what got you, huh?
And I'm like, oh, I need to get a new phone. But then, of course, like those costumes are only available for a limited time. In fact, I think when I was on the What Are You Playing May 2026 episode, I mentioned that at the time it was the wall market outfits for Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith. Like I think like the next day, I think they stopped showing up because I was still trying to get Cloud's dress or whatever.
Mobile games for you though.
Oh, they'll be back, because every time when there's like a milestone thing, they bring back a bunch of the old costumes, and you can like attempt to unlock them.
Oh, I know what you mean. I spent 2 years in the Marvel Snap Mines. I understand too well how that gotcha system worked. And where can people find you at?
Facebook's mostly, but appropriately enough, I'm a moderator on a Facebook group called Final Fantasy VII, an RPG pub, /7th Heaven, where we all talk about Final Fantasy or other RPG stuff. And I work on a comic called Aerith and Yuna's Excellent Arcade Adventures, which is a dumb little idea that should not work, but it somehow does. Where
It makes you laugh. It makes people laugh, so hey.
Yeah, it's just Aerith and Yuna from, 2 different games, just hanging out at an arcade and getting into all sorts of shenanigans.
I mean, to be fair, they are in the same game at times. Dissidia.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you listen to Dissidia. I never actually played it. I bought it. Never played it.
I have the PS4 game, which I always heard was like notoriously bad. And I finally tried it out the other day because I bought it because it was like the special Steelbook edition or something, which I found pretty cheap at some. There's a store here in Arizona called Zia Records, and they sell records and DVDs, CDs, cassettes, and like other physical media and entertainment.
Was Tifa on the cover?
No, but
okay.
that's the game. The game's number one problem. Tifa's a DLC, and
they knew.
Yeah, I'm like, you motherfuckers! Like you are keeping me from my woman. I mean, if this game didn't suck, I'd have bought her hands down, no problems. But no, the combat in that is just weird, and I'm like trying to like just do the tutorial combat thing, and I'm getting my ass handed to me. And because they do have because they got like characters from like each game, I think up until 13, I think, because I think Lightning's in the game.
Yeah,
but
sure she is.
But no, there will be like 1 or 2 characters that are blocked out from each game, and of course Tifa's one of them from 7. And Yuna is in the game, or no, she's on the character select, but she's also blotted out as well, so she's a DLC.
I did not know that. I think it kind of like got. Yeah, I've heard bad things about it too.
I'm actually trying to sell my copy right now.
All right, well, thank you for joining, Tony, and stay tuned for the rest of our thoughts. All right, and then we should go to Shelf Stacker Box. And Kyle, why don't you lead us in?
I am going to put this one on the stack. It is a good game. I enjoy it, but it's kind of just an add-on to Final Fantasy VII that came on afterwards. It's much more relevant now, so I would say give it a try. But the gameplay is kind of not my favorite overall, and I think it's pretty streamlined, the exact things you can do to make the game really fun. So I would put this in the stack. Good, but not great.
Barry.
I'm actually going to echo that. I think this is a stack game. It's a great game, and it's got a lot of fun. It's definitely worth playing. Problem is it's, even though it is its own game, it's billed as a prequel, and therefore your enjoyment in the game and the story kind of directly is correlated to how you feel about Final Fantasy VII. And I kind of wish it was standing on its own ground, telling its own story. We've seen that in other Final Fantasy spin-offs, but what's here is good. It's definitely a product of its time too, with all the missions and all the extra content in it, and your mileage may vary. And if you like gambling, the slots could be fun for you.
Fair. Joe.
I have a little bit that I touch on too as well. I put this on the shelf. I love this game. I love Zack Fair. Zack Fair being a joke on opposite of Cloud Strife, which is always personal favorite joke of mine. Also, the fact that you gotta admit that ending pachinko machine of it hitting the slots and everything else also just you gotta admit that tugs at your heartstrings too. But yeah, I firmly believe if you really want to get if you're not really sure you like the Final Fantasy 7 franchise as a whole, I think you should at least give this a try. And if you really don't like this, then you're not gonna like the whole series. But like I said, this is my first Final Fantasy 7 game, and honestly, it did get me into the series. So I highly recommend it as well. Yeah, the gameplay's bad, but I mean, it's a story that I do believe needs to be told just in general, ignoring the whole remake of it. But also, I like Zack's character in itself, and like I said, it was the price of freedom, which is the main, I think the main theme, and then the rest of the motifs copy off of it. But like, I can't hear that song without tearing up a little bit because I love it a lot. So,
Okay. Neat.
Yeah, I would put this on the shelf. I really like this game's story. I think it ties absolutely perfectly into Final Fantasy VII. And I'm with Joe. Hearing the main motif theme, thinking about the ending just gets me teary-eyed and just emotional all over again. And I did not realize that Zack Fair was just like a play on Cloud Strife.
I did not either.
Yeah, I didn't really
it's-
think that, but I respect that.
I respect it too. It's kind of like in Tony Hawk Underground, Eric Sparrow being a play on Tony Hawk. But yeah, I really liked this game, so it's going on the shelf for me.
All right. And I'll go last. I'm going to put this on the stack. I had a good time, though. I did enjoy replaying it for this show, and it's been so many years. It was fun, but I didn't love it. That's for sure. I just had a good time. And sometimes that's all you need. Did you get everybody right?
That was all of us.
Okay. All right. And then I should introduce what we're talking about next week. Next week, you can hear me talk about Lego Star Wars 3. Because.
Are you going to do Skywalker Saga ever? Because I might do that with you.
I might, yeah.
I did 100% that.
We'll see. I just have never played Lego Star Wars 3 before, and I've always wanted to. So I said, fuck it. That's just kind of how that happened.
Skywalker Saga is like the ultimate version of it all.
Bingo.
Oh, I know. I'll play it someday. All right, and then we should go to plugs. And Barry, where can we find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Hawk Hellfire, as well as Blue Sky and Fuse, or Panex now. All as Hawk Hellfire. You could also find our channel Nintendo Fuse, all social media platforms at Nintendo Fuse, and right on YouTube, youtube.com/Nintendo Fuse, as well as nintendofuse.com. And you could always check out the wonderful games we're putting out over at PM Studios. Tons and tons of games coming out. It's going to be a very busy summer. We just showed off some great games at Summer Game Fest, like Wolf Among Us Remastered and Wolf Among Us 2. So please check out our social media, PM Studios, and stay tuned because we have a lot of great games coming out.
And Kyle.
Yeah, so I am Kyle. You can check me out at the RPG Show, therpgshow.com, and we are also on Blue Sky. We just released our Lunar 1 episode, and we should have Lunar 2 up in probably the next month.
Right, and Nate.
Hello. There is only one pallet jack in Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. That one pallet jack made all the difference. If you want to find out what other video games have pallet jacks, go to bluesky.com, pallet jack in games, and follow me there.
All right, and if you enjoyed this episode, there are over 1,000 other episodes of this podcast. We do movies, TV shows, video games, comics, all sorts of content. You can hear our giant catalog on Podbean. If you want to help support the show, we do have a Patreon. It's a little dark and vote in our Patreon poll. We have 1 to 2 polls. We have 2 polls a month. You also get all the episodes early. They all still come out, but I release them early on Patreon beforehand. So get them there. And if you donate $10 or more, I will plug your podcast YouTube every episode I make during that month. And the plugs don't go away, like these lovely people, Phoebe Stanton, the Let's Play Princess on YouTube and Twitch. And check out her podcast, Nerds of Broadcast. And also make sure you check out Zack's show, Absolutely the Best Podcast, A Work in Progress. They talk about the MCU movies and MCU adjacent movies. And they're currently doing the Alien Predator franchise. And then also check out Gamer Looks at 40 of Bill Tucker and his new podcast, Carrying My Cross. And also want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro, courtesy of Helena at Hell Hath Fury. You can follow her on TikTok and Instagram. And please join our Discord. If you want to be in the show, you want to suggest things for the show, join the Discord. You'll see a link in the show notes. We're always having new people join us and chat with us. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, audio only, and rate and review so we get your podcast. I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Conflict resolved.
Bye, Nara.
Conflict resolved.
If you see Aerith, say hi for me.
Oh.